Welcome to the Loop.
Holy bananas.
Hello.
Holy cannolis. Happy New Year. Not yet. Not yet. It's not.
And lots of guacamole.
That's not a poem, but it's art. Welcome to The Loop, everyone. It's a talk show about video games. My name is Eric, and as always, I am joined by Kyle.
That's my name.
And Jeremy.
Hello.
And Trevor.
Hi.
And, you know, the producer with the most
Producers.
producer, Kuipers,
Wicca what?
switching it and flicking it and knobbing those knobs, is here. We're all here. We're excited to do the Game of the Year Spectacular.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
That is what this show is right now. It is going to be a battle to the death where we discuss the best games of the year, and then we have to defend them to make it onto our top 10 list that is endorsed by Men in a Tub. The top 10 games of 2018. I tell you what, it's going to be an exciting time, and I just can't wait till the shots start firing off, and I get really upset, and I get mad about HQ trivia again.
It is a game.
I promise no more of that.
It's a
okay?
game, but it's never mind.
Let's stop. Nope. We're not doing it.
It's not a video game.
No.
Oh my gosh, Kyle. Don't
not.
start it, I said. We're not doing
You
that.
started it.
Yeah,
Let's
you
do
I
it.
made a joke. You brought it up. You poked the bear. No, it's fine. All right. We got a whole bunch of new games this year.
I'm sure there'll be something new this year to complain about.
And I'm sure there'll be a lot of things for us to fight about. I do want to mention at the top of the show that there's a lot of stuff going on right now. I got to say, we are going to be making 2 announcements at.
Hey.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Irrelevant Native.
Irrelevant Native.
For subbing. Namaste. All right, now I gotta say we have 2 big announcements to make at the end of this show. I'm going to warn you, so are you prepared emotionally that they are bittersweet?
Very.
But don't be too stressed out about it, okay?
No.
But we have 2 announcements today, and then you want to tune in tomorrow night for our Christmas call-in show, where we will have one other big announcement to
There'll be
make
fun stuff
at the
tomorrow-
end of
or
that
tomorrow.
show. So you want to make sure you tune into that. Then I also want to tell you about more exciting stuff, okay? All right, here's the other exciting stuff. I'm going to say the announcements we're making, you can be excited about them, but they might be a little bit of a bummer, but it's okay. Just prepare yourself. But the exciting,
He's really selling
Wow,
the
you are
exciting
doing
announcements.
something with it.
I'm trying to get these people to stay here for this whole show.
it. Get hype.
The big exciting announcement is we're giving away some awesome thing tonight and tomorrow night.
I just, we should. Who
Jolly
can,
just said that he's a ball of stress now.
So
This
am I.
isn't helping.
I tell you what, Kuipers, do you have access to the Minito account? Whoever's on the Minito account on Twitch, update our title so the ads giveaway
Okay, so we're doing a giveaway tonight. We're going to give away.
somehow.
Brace yourself. We don't know how we're going to do it yet, but somehow
Find a way
we
to
are
impress
going
us.
to be giving away 1 year of Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah.
That's $120 value.
That means you get multiple first day games. We're talking games we're going to talk about tonight. Probably we got Sea of Thieves. We've got Forza Horizon 4. We've got what else is on there that's new this year?
Well, Crackdown's coming out in
Crackdown's
February.
coming out.
Coming out in
February.
February. You get it for free day 1.
You can download it right now if you have it, I think.
Ooh.
State of Decay. That's
State
right.
of Decay 2. Oh my goodness,
We-
all the fun stuff.
We are
Hundreds of games.
giving away a free year of Xbox Game Pass. And tomorrow night, if you didn't get it tonight, you can win again tomorrow night.
Yeah. What? Plus, we're doing a call-in show tomorrow night, so that'll be fun.
And there's a possibility we might be giving away 2 tomorrow night. Am I right, Jeremy? There's
At
a
least,
possibility.
at least maybe.
Maybe more.
One, maybe
we
more.
don't really know. Jeremy is
Odds are still floating about our,
Yeah.
our
Jeremy's trying to
donations.
pull some magic.
We accept donations
But
through
for sure-
Patreon and other means, right? If you want to support
But
this.
for sure, 1 tonight and
And one tomorrow.
And one tomorrow.
For sure.
But maybe more than one tomorrow.
Maybe.
All right. Anyways, we need to get into this show because it's going to be a long conversation. We have a lot of games to talk about. It's an exciting time. It's an exciting time to be alive.
And it's been a good year for games.
Oh, I got to pull my list back up because I totally forgot.
A good year,
So many games.
just as well as a disappointing year in some points.
In some ways, yeah.
But yeah, in certain games, I won't mention them here. Sea of Thieves. All right, now.
You know what? You want to go there?
Oh no!
You want to go there already?
Hang on. Let's get into the show before we all kill each other.
You should not have done that. You should not have done that.
You should not have mentioned that earlier. I know, but it's not surprising that it has triggered him.
You've got another crewmate.
By the way, there's a new update that just came out.
All right, so here, real quick, here's the rules of the game. We're first gonna go through our lists of shame, and to clarify what a list of shame is, it is a list of games that we did not play that came out this year that we wish we would have played, that we missed out on. Okay, that's our list of shames. We're gonna run through those first. Second, we're going to run through our honorable mentions. Those are games that we feel like, hey, we liked them, we enjoyed them, or we seen the potential in them, and we played them, but they didn't make our top 10. Then we're each going to go through our top 10 lists, but one at a time. So like I'll go through number 10, then the rest of us will go through their number 10s, and then number 9, and then until we get to each individual number 1. Once we have done all of that, we will debate for a joint top 10 games.
Wait. There are no drugs involved here.
No, we will smoke a joint, and then we will debate, or we will discuss a joint top 10 list of marijuanas.
We're getting started with that.
No, but we will discuss, we have to agree upon a top 10 list of games that Men in a Tub endorses. All
Jeremy,
right?
you do have a list already prepared, right?
Yeah, I didn't know we were going to do other things besides the top 10. So, like, the whole shame thing, I'm like, there's a ton of games I didn't get to.
Just mention a few.
I was just concerned because he pulled up a Wikipedia entry for all of 2018 video gaming.
It's
so
okay.
I wasn't sure if he didn't have his list ready
I
or
also
not.
want to have info for those obscure games that Eric is going to mention that none of the rest of us have played. But at least 2 of us are going to act like we've heard of.
You guys don't need to do that. You play video games. All right, we don't want to waste any more time. I hope last year's show was way too long, and this one, hopefully we can get out of here before the 3 a.m. All right.
I hope so. I got to work in the morning.
No, I'm just kidding. But like I said, if you're tuning in now, you're going to want to be here at the end because, like I said, we're giving away a year of Game Pass, and we have 2 big announcements to make about the fate and the future of Men in a Tub. You will not want to miss that.
Oh, my.
But let's go ahead and get started. I am going to go ahead and let's just say we will start with Trevor.
Okay.
And we'll go through our list of shame, and we'll go all the way through Kuipers. Yes, Kuipers is the wild card. He does count. His list counts.
Howdy.
And then we'll just keep going from there. So, Trevor, if you would do us the honor of starting us off with your list of shame.
Let's hear it.
My list of shame begins with
Why are
Celeste.
you talking in this voice?
I wasn't going to go
Oh, okay. I was like, wow, this is going to be really long.
Celeste
really-
was one I would like to play at some point. I don't know. It's the same guy who made Towerfall. It looks really cool. I played a tiny bit, but I'd like to play more of Kingdom Come Deliverance. A Way Out, I'd like to play. Detroit Become Human, I would like to give a try at some point. Vampire, I was kind of sad I never played that one. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 sometime.
You haven't played that at all?
Nope, never played it at all.
I haven't played it at all.
Forza Horizon 4, I didn't really ever play that either.
Not surprised, Kyle.
Soul Calibur 6, I would actually like to give it a try because I think I could like fighting games now.
Kuipers has already given up on your list of shame here.
You start going too fast.
It's fine. They're not important. X4
the list of shame doesn't really matter.
Frontiers is my last one, which I will play. I just haven't bought it yet. So yeah.
All right, Jeremy.
Short list. Celeste, I really kind of, what I saw of it, I was like, wow, that looks amazing. The PS4 only, whatever that Tetris game is.
Tetris Effect.
Tetris Effect. I really want to play that. I really want to play it in VR because I hear it's amazing. And then the last one on my list, and it's because it's officially only out on PC and end of the year, which hasn't happened yet, so I can't play it yet on Xbox, is Wreckfest. I'm super stoked and looking forward to play that game.
All right.
So that's my list.
Yeah.
And Kyle's list of shame.
All right. I got Hitman 2. Didn't get around to starting that one or getting to that one at all.
There's a free Christmas special right now.
Mario Aces. I really wanted to play that one and then just did not get around to that either. And then I had Moonlighter and Celeste as well. So those were my list of shame.
All right. Games you should have played, but you did not. All right.
Yep.
My list of shame is very VR heavy. Mainly because
VR heavy, huh?
Because I want to play, these games on PSVR.
Is your wife getting you a VR for Christmas?
I'm hoping so. Okay. So hopefully I'll get to play these after.
Wait a second.
After Christmas.
Is this just a
Listen,
attempt
listen,
to?
if you're hearing this, you still have time to buy it for
yes,
me.
honey,
Just let him go.
Yes, honey. If you're listening, please get me a VR for Christmas. All right, no, but like I talked
we
about
can all
on one of
come
the
over and
shows
play.
a while back. I think the PSVR is kind of at it. It's finally worth the money at this point. There's actually enough games out there to make it worth it, and it's
some
not
decent
as
ones.
expensive as like the first class high tier VR games or VR systems. But anyways, I really wanted to play Astrobot Rescue Mission. That game looks incredible, and it sounds like it's really kind of a momentous game for VR. It's a thing where it's like kind of where it clicks. Like, hey, this game, it uses VR in a really unique way that could only be used by VR, even though it's a platformer. Anyways, I want to play that. Moss is kind of a similar situation. I've heard that's really great. It's on PC too. Beat Saber. That game looks really cool.
That one does look really cool.
Okay, that is my list of shame too.
Okay, because Beat Saber, it's like Guitar Hero with lightsabers, and I really want to check that out. It looks awesome. I heard the music selection isn't that great, but the feeling of slicing these boxes to sick beats sounds great.
Sick beats.
Mega Man 11 is a game that I was timid about, and then I heard great things about once it released, and I never got around to playing it.
I played a very little bit of it.
But
The
it looks
demo?
really good. Probably my number one list of shame game is Return of Obra Dinn. I've heard so much great stuff about this game, the creator of Papers, Please, and I will probably play this during Christmas vacation.
What's that on?
It's only on PC and Mac right now.
Okay.
But it's got a cool art style, and
It looks really cool.
It just looks super fun. If you don't know anything about it, it's kind of like you're kind of solving this mystery about a ship that returns to port, and a bunch of people are dead on it. And
same guy that did Papers, Please,
Papers,
right?
Please,
Yep.
right. Yep. All right, so there is our list of shame. We did that fast. I'm impressed with everyone's, punctuality.
You know what I found the most interesting?
Oh wait, we got Kuipers. We forgot. I almost forgot.
I was
oh my
just
gosh.
about to delete my name on the list
I'm
there.
so sorry, Kuipers.
Get in there, Kuipers.
Kuipers,
I'm
give
so
us your list of
sorry.
shame. Can you
Okay.
type
Can
and speak at the same
Can you put it
time?
in a smaller font?
No.
Okay. Maybe italicized.
So for my list of shame, there was a couple games that were also shared with others. So sorry, I just have to look at my list here too. Moonlighter was one of them.
That
Wow,
game
okay.
looked really cool.
Like I have it, I just have yet to actually play it.
You
Because,
played it, right, Eric?
Because like other games came out that I was also excited about.
Sure.
So another one this is kind of a spoiler alert too, that it's not going to be on my actual top 10 list.
Yeah.
You jerk! Red Dead Redemption
2.
Oh man.
Yeah.
What a list of shame.
Shameful.
but get out of here. But at least it's on his list.
It's on the list.
That's true. That counts for something.
Yeah.
That counts for something.
What are you
doing here, boy?
I just like when the game came out, I just didn't really have enough time to actually go
there's a lot
behind and play it.
It needs a lot of time.
Yeah.
So especially living with roommates that also use a TV, it's kind of like okay,
Hot tip.
sometimes I
never
can get
sleep.
it.
Hot tip.
Okay.
Just don't sleep. Yeah.
And-
Just Cause 4 was one of mine. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, thanks for reminding me of that now. That was another one on my list.
You can thank Jolliver because he reminded me of that.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to Just Cause 4 either.
You guys can wait on that. Look for a
Yeah.
downtime in the spring.
And then Celeste as well, because that one also looked interesting by just Never got to it.
I think it's on sale on Switch right now, which is the system I would want to buy it for. Anyway.
Yeah. That scares me that you say wait
Hey,
until the
iShield.
spring on Just Cause 4.
You
Scams.
jerk.
Except Scam Citizen. Yes.
All right. Sorry, I forgot about your covers. I did not intentionally do that. There's this big barrier of junk here, and I don't see you.
It's called the studio.
All right. There's our list of shame. Let's go ahead and go through our honorable mentions now. These are the games that did not make it on our top 10 list, but we still feel very passionately about them for one reason or another.
Oh, I knew.
And we will start again with the Trevor.
Mine are actually just 3 different remakes. Diablo 3. I bought that game a while ago, and then I just bought it for Switch recently. I wasn't too blown away with it before, but it's great on the Switch. I don't know. I don't know if it just clicks with me now, but it's awesome.
I heard it's a really good port.
Yeah. And then I just love that they made Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered Edition. That was one of my favorite games of all time. I'm so excited about that. And then what else? Shadow of the Colossus. I haven't played a whole lot of it, but holy cow, I was blown away by what they've done with that. So
And it runs much better.
it runs very well. It's very pretty. Yeah, it's cool.
I don't know if I ever actually even finished that when I played the original. But that game was fun. I guess it's Jeremy's turn.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know you were done, Trevor. Okay.
Oh,
Said he had
sorry. Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
He said he had 3.
Mine's short. There's only one, and it's because it's still early access. And if you haven't played it, you should. Scum.
There you go.
Cool.
I tell you why, but you guys already know why if you've watched
Yeah.
any of this, because it's a great game. And by
No.
the way, now there's cars.
I know that pains Jeremy because here's our rule set. Like we can't like the early access can't really be in the top 10 list,
Right.
the final one. So
I
that's
almost
why
put
he,
PUBG on it
you
just
know.
because it came out for Xbox this year, so I could argue that
Yeah.
it counts. But
Yeah. But
Anyway.
anyways, all right, Scum. One simple and done. I love that people that are watching this right now are just watching a spreadsheet.
Yeah,
It's like
it's great.
Hey, Watchmen in a Tub, do your taxes.
And over.
I think
here
after we get
to
through the
our-
honorable mentions, we can.
Yeah, maybe just
Yeah.
go full screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I've got one that's up there that a lot of people will probably roll their eyes. I think No Man's Sky next. Obviously, it's not a game of the year because it's technically not a new game, but that update
Yeah.
reset. I mean, it is a new game
Yeah.
Came to
with the way
Xbox.
that's set. You're right;
That
it was
was
released
new.
on Xbox, but technically, it just added on to and kind of perfected
It fixed.
what was
Yeah.
already there.
Yeah.
Right.
The other one I've got in here is Smash Brothers, just because I don't feel like on my list it belongs in the top 10 because I have not played enough of it, even though
See, I agree, but for other reasons.
I think it's a great game. If I had had a little more time with it, I probably would say that might have made it. Kuipers, put it in there however you want, man. That's
Nah,
it.
it we're good.
So that's my shame list or my
no, he's like,
honorable
that
mentions
needs
list.
the whole name.
Actually, isn't it just Smash Bros though? The way it's.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Anyways,
Oh yeah, you're right.
all right.
Boom.
Honorable mentions for me. I have a longer list.
Yeah, you may need to add some column or some rows for him.
Sorry, I have like 7 games on here. I just played this game last night, so I'm going to mention it briefly. And I'm going to talk about it way more than I need to.
Oh boy.
Florence. It's a mobile game that you can only get on. I don't know if it's on Android. I know it's on iOS.
$3
It's a $3 game.
because I looked it up after you tweeted about
It's-
it last night.
It'll only take you about an hour or less to play through. And so you're saying, an hour for $3, whatever. But I will say, I will say because of the life trajectory I lived, it doesn't probably hit me as hard as it would hit other people. I got married really young. Been married now for like over 10 years, over 18 years. 10 years. What am I talking about? But so I've been married for a long time and all this stuff. Where this is like a kind of a coming of age love story type thing. But I will say that the mechanics it uses to tell its story, there's no no voice acting. There's no text to read. It's all told through imagery and music with no words or lyrics. It's just instrumental. But it is a moving game, and I feel like if I would have maybe had a different experience with dating and all that sort of thing, it might have impacted me in a heavier way, and it might have made my top 10 list. But I think because, it just didn't connect with me like it might with other people, I'm honorably mentioning it. But if you can check it out just for like this studio, it's one of their first games. I think like to see what they come out with next will be really interesting. The way they use storytelling mechanisms in it, where you're having an argument or you're having a discussion, and it's like
words.
You're building these puzzle pieces. You're putting these puzzles together, and then when there's an argument, they turn red, and then as it's almost like as love built, the puzzles got easier, right? Because you're loving this person. And when you first start talking to this person, the puzzles are harder, more complex to put together, and then it gets easier. And then as they start to grow apart, there's this shift in the gameplay where okay, well now these puzzle pieces are different shapes, but then all of a sudden you're in an argument and there's just no effort at all to put these puzzles together. And it's it's so weird because it evokes these emotions. If you've ever been in an argument with someone that you're close to, it nails it in a weird metaphor, an artful metaphor in a way. And it is, I don't know, I could talk about it for a long time as a concept and what they did with it. It's really cool. And I sorry I spent so much time on it, but check it out if you can. It's only $3. It's called Florence.
It is on Android too.
Okay, Android too. The other games, Donut County, it's an honorable mention because it's a great game, but it's short and there's not a lot to it. But it's a fun, hey, I'm just going to zone out and let things fall in a hole. That's fun. Dead Cells, I really like that game, but I suck at it, so it's not on my top 10 list. Detroit Become Human is a game that I really got caught up in, and I feel like 66% of it is really good. But there's that one storyline that is just awful, and it ruins the game. But the rest of it's great. Jeremy, would you stop tweeting things? I'm getting too many alerts on my phone.
I'm trying to get more people here.
I keep swiping away so I can read my list.
Done.
Monster Hunter World is on my honorable mentions. It's a game that I had a very complex relationship with, that I am willing to admit is actually awesome in a lot of ways, but the parts that I disliked passionately.
It's a weird game.
And so it's not that I think it's a garbage or anything. I just think it's not my top 10 because my top 10 are games that I really, really enjoyed this year. And I had too much conflict with this game. There's parts of that game that I still want to go back and play because I thought they were awesome and unique. And I love how they brought Monster Hunter World down to the average game player to understand it better, and the level of entry was much more accessible to people. I really appreciate that. It just was not my favorite. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is an honorable mention for me.
Is this a second top 10 list? I'm just curious.
No, this is my honorable mention.
I know. I
have 7. I told you I had 7 games.
He plays 1 million games a year.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Wow.
I only have one more other than this. This game is immense, immaculate, and beautiful, and there's some hangups on it that they just don't allow me to put on my top 10. There are things in that cutscene that the cutscenes drive me nuts because they never show below the upper body, and people will exchange items in such a cheap way they didn't have to animate it, so they never cut below your bicep, and so stuff like that it would just drive me nuts because I'm just I know you're cheaping your way out here, Ubisoft, but whatever. That's a petty thing to pick at, but it just wasn't one of the games that I enjoyed the most of this year. And my last honorable mention is Forza Horizon 4.
Really? It deserved at least that?
That game is
It
awesome.
was 3 with a DLC.
No.
What?
No.
Yeah, it totally was.
No.
Same exact game. Oh, by the way, we added weather.
I
mean, PUBG and
I think
and
if
other
there weren't
games did that in the middle too.
if there weren't as many other games out this year that I really enjoyed, it would be on my top 10 list for sure. I think it's Forza
Did you even unlock the whole map?
Forza Horizon 4 is a great game. That's the other thing is I didn't play as much as I'd like to, but I still played enough that I think the game is great. I think the weather stuff really changed it up in an awesome way. And I mean, it doesn't have much competition because racing games are few and far between anymore.
Yeah.
And all of the rest of them are from developers that are just trying to get their foot in the door, and it's nowhere near the quality.
Right. But
But Crew 2 didn't make it. Never mind. I'll keep my mouth shut.
so no, the Crew 2 stabbed me in the back.
Yeah.
I love that game. I would defend it to the grave until all of a sudden it switched on me in a feverish fashion, and it broke my heart. That game
broke my heart.
that game would be on a list of hate for me.
Yeah.
But no, Forza Horizon 4 is a beautiful racing game. It is masterfully made. It is the racing in that game is second to none. It feels great. It is fun to play. And it's a game that is like, oh man, if I just didn't feel pressured to play all these other games, I would just chill out and play Forza because it is awesome and it's fun and it's relaxing.
I mean, I don't disagree that it's a well-made, great game. I just feel like it wasn't that different than 3. Like when I play, and I think I probably put the most hours into that game of anyone on the panel right now. But
This is a panel. It's very official.
it is.
No,
a
it's fine.
panel. But
I'm not arguing with you that
the reason I stopped playing it had nothing to do with other games that came out. It was literally I'm going, I felt like I did this already.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
it
but you
just-
felt like you did that in Forza 2. And, like, I mean, Forza
I know
Horizon.
that's what I mean. Like it's finally gotten to the point where it's like enough
they made-
years of
yeah, but they're
it wasn't
increment-
fresh enough for me.
They're incremental upgrades. This is
Yeah.
not something that's uncommon in gaming. Like,
I know,
Right.
and
That's
it's
what
a
I mean.
racing
That's
game
why.
too.
That's why it didn't.
I mean, you do
it's
play
beautiful.
Call of
I
Duty
like
every
it, but-
year,
Yeah,
and you
Call
were
of Duty-
super
yeah.
surprised that some of us haven't. So
I mean, Call of Duty is
that's
an
true.
upgrade every year. That's kind of the same game. I mean, you look at like Assassin's Creed. I mean, they do make some big changes. They had made some.
That's
big
what I'm
changes
saying, though.
recently,
I
but-
felt like there wasn't enough changes that made me excited. That's
Okay.
all.
So
Well-
Kuipers, what are your honorable mentions?
My honorable mentions really would only be Overcooked 2 at this point.
yeah, that is a great
Overcooked
game.
2?
If you,
Yeah,
if
it
you
was-
like to be stressed out.
It was fun. It's great as a party game, but it's also like stressful as a party
Was
game.
it great as a party game?
If you've played it single player, it's great as a party game.
If you've never played it,
Wait,
and you
how
just,
is it a party game?
No,
if you're
he's
playing
saying
it single-
if you've been prepared by playing
Oh,
it in
okay.
single
No,
player.
I'm saying if you've
People
ever
who've
played,
never played it before, it's very frustrating to play with them.
but it also is equally frustrating to just play by yourself because you only control 2 characters and you have to swap back and forth to try
True.
to do stuff.
Yeah.
It's easier with more people. There just needs to be a lot of coordination to do it.
I will say in my house, that's the #1 party game of the year. We keep coming back to it to play that in a group in my house.
Yeah, no, my family, we would all end in a mess. It's too. But anyways,
Yeah.
that's your only one.
That's the only one I could think
Okay.
of off the top of my
Hey,
head.
should we use Stream Elements to do this giveaway?
I don't know.
Get it set so
How-
that we'd
what
have
are
the
we-
tickets.
Kyle,
What
if
is it
if
gonna
it
be?
works, it works.
What's
man.
it gonna be? What would they? How would they win it then? I need to know.
It draws a winner for us.
Just randomly for people who watch.
We're in the chat.
Who buy a ticket? It would be one tub bucket ticket.
Oh, so everybody who's been in the chat for a minute can play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just worry that at the end of the show, if they're not still here, we're not going to track them down for it. I don't think.
Okay.
I want
Well,
someone who's going to stick around.
Okay. Then
So-
let's
Well,
not.
yeah.
Can we
I mean,
just
we could still use it and be like, can you redraw?
Let's just use it, and
I
then
don't
we'll redraw if they're not in the chat at the end.
Okay. They
Let's
just
do
got to
that.
put in, I believe, bang ticket. or
And by the
bang
way,
enter.
we don't end right on the hour, so you gotta stick around.
All right,
you can't
Jeremy,
guess.
Should I- should I do it?
Let him explain. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Explain to the people at home how they win Xbox Game Pass for a year.
All right. So I don't know if it just went through. I think I just got logged out.
Okay. You put
Maybe
bang
we
what?
won't use this. I think
Or
it's-
you got to set it up first, right? All right.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get. We can have Trevor start defending his number 10 while you do that. And let's try not to. Let's try not to like. Well, no, I mean, don't worry about being brief. I guess I'm just saying let's hear everybody's argument for why the game's on their list without arguing with them until we're building the top 10 list, the conjoined list. So right now, don't go, oh, Trevor, I can't believe you put that on your list.
Hey,
That game sucks.
Eric, I know you're
But-
talking to me.
No, I'm just.
Okay.
I mean,
but I did
there's
that for the other stuff. I totally agree with the top 10.
I'm just saying, let
Keep it to
everybody,
yourself.
let
Yeah. I
everybody
agree.
like get their I mean, you can kind of give a "oh really" or a "oh yeah, that's a great game," but like,
interesting.
let's not get into a full debate until we're trying to build our conjoined top 10 list.
Number 10,
Go, Trevor.
Far Cry 5.
Woo!
I don't know. In some ways, I didn't play as much of that game as I wanted to, but it did some pretty cool things. I wouldn't go as far as to say it reinvigorated the series, but it did some kind of nice things that made the series feel advanced in some ways, even if the story wasn't as exciting as you might hope it would be, and annoying in some ways. But no, yeah, that was a fun game. So
Cool.
that's all I have to say.
Oh, so we're just doing
Number
in
10.
number order.
Number 10.
Okay, dokie. Metal Gear Survive. I know you guys didn't like it. It's okay. I still liked it.
All right, you're gonna defend it at all, or you like
It was on my list. I'm like Kyle. I played probably less games than the other two or three of you. Well, more than Kuipers. But you
I
know,
had current gen consoles this year.
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, I still enjoyed the game. I knew you guys would poo-poo on it, but there's probably a couple more in my list you might poo-poo on too.
I'll just say a real quick thing. I did enjoy a little bit of that game.
Aw, that's sweet.
That's
Trevor.
like you saying, I'm glad the game was made for other people to play.
I played some of it. So.
All right.
Anyway.
Kyle,
Hi.
before you start, why don't you explain one more time how they win?
I don't know what it just said there.
Xbox
Say-
Game Pass, say ticket 32 to buy
Okay, it's an
32.
example. I don't think you can buy. It's set at, I believe, 5 tickets.
So
The max that you can buy is 5 tickets.
So
Yeah, Jolliver's trying higher numbers.
Jolliver,
so just try 5.
5.
So the maximum that you can give away, the maximum tickets
Did you
can
leave
get
this
is
for a long time? So
yeah, it doesn't matter until we close
Yeah.
it.
okay, great.
so you put exclamation point, ticket, space, 5. And,
Right.
And you're entered 5 times for
Yes,
potential to win.
it's a maximum of 5 tickets.
Yeah. No, not 5,000. 5. And
He'll get there.
And I
He'll
like,
get there.
did it actually work? I don't think it worked now when he actually did it right.
I think you might need to try it again. I think you were maybe a little too soon or something.
Anyways.
We'll give it a second.
It actually told him like the 4th time or 3rd time. Too many tickets.
Whoa there.
He tried to buy 5,000 tickets. Does it show anybody's entered?
It doesn't show anybody entered yet.
All right, give it a second and then try again.
We may have to try and do it over again.
All right, why don't you
Where
go
did
with
my-
your number?
Yeah, my number 10, I had Forza Horizon 4. That is a very good game. I think it would have probably been a little bit higher if during the course of the game it gave you a little more freedom to move between the seasons. By locking it in by a specific days periods of time, I think that was the only thing that really was kind of a turnoff of the game for me, because it was one of those where it's like I would like for this to be be able to jump into spring because I've finished all of the races there for this particular season, and it kind of holds you off from being able to get through stuff faster. But other than that, the game is gorgeous, and the differences in the seasons and how the cars drive during seasons. Horizon has always been my favorite racing game because of the fact that it's open world. You drive to the races. It makes it feel like there's a little more that actually matters. So that's my 10.
All right.
And Jolliver, it is now showing that you are entered. So congratulations.
My number 5 is me cheating because I for one know that I don't know. Well, I don't really
You
know
said
what
your number 5?
my number 10. Sorry,
Okay,
with
I
all
just
the
wanted to
5s that were in
clarify.
there. Number
Yeah.
10 is kind of me fudging a little bit because I don't know where these games will end up on the final list, and I just still wanted more games to talk about. So I have a tie. My number 10 is a tie.
That is
choose.
Stop it.
Choose.
You can't do that. You can't put 11
That's
titles
fine,
into your
whatever.
list.
I did.
It's his list.
It's my
so.
tie. It's my personal list. I just said you can't argue with me about this list. My number 10 is a tie between Frostpunk and Pokemon Let's Go. I could not decide for the life of me. I wanted both of these to be on my top 10 list, and I did not have enough room. I played them both about the same amount. And Frostpunk is
I kind of forgot about Frostpunk.
such a cool game.
That one I don't
is
think
really
I
good.
even
And
heard of.
It is like, I mean, it's kind of a, I mean, it's not like a game that has never been created, but the way that it is made is very unique. It's a, I mean, it's that kind of top-down perspective on, what's it? The whole, Trevor, you saved my life. What's it?
City Builders?
It's kind of like that, but it's like
survival city.
yeah,
building
it's kind of a
deal?
cross between that, and it's but anyways, it's a really great game where you're like, you're trying to save all these people in this post-apocalyptic world where it's it's frozen and it's really cold, and so you have to build these generators. You have to try to keep all these people alive and give them jobs and make them happy, and it's just a blast. So if they're saying in chat right now that it's 33% off right now, so it's on Steam. It is a great game.
I think they just bought it at 33%.
Yeah, I don't know if it is now.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
It'll probably be on sale soon.
Yeah, it'll be on sale.
Anyways, Frostpunk is amazing. Pokemon Let's Go. I have the Pikachu variety.
Because you're a sane person.
I just want my clothes to look cute on it. Okay. I've tried many Pokemon games in the past for the Game Boy and the DS, and I just never got past the kind of barrier of entry. Like I got a little ways in and I just couldn't do it. And I think that this was just the perfect storm of, hey, the graphics are better. I can pet my Pikachu. Just everything about it made it much more attainable for me, like something that I could enjoy, where I didn't before. And I mean, it's still not something that I was just like, oh man, I'm floored by this game. But I would have so much fun playing it. It was such a good game for me to kind of play passively while watching Netflix or something like that. And I really sunk a good chunk of time in it. So, anyways, that's my number 10. I know Jeremy's still upset about it, but anyways, go ahead, Kuipers.
Okay. So my number 10 is going to be Valkyria Chronicles 4.
Ooh.
Because that was kind of, I haven't played any of those games before. I know it's anime game. Jeremy's not interested.
I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
Not just Jeremy.
But it's kind of interesting, kind of a tactics kind of game. So it was more my cup of tea. I've kind of been enjoying those types of games more this year, and so that was a good introduction to the series.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about those series. They're supposed to be really good. I don't know. Is that it?
Yeah,
yes, that's the
all.
only. There's only. one
Sorry, that
that's
sounded really rude.
Everyone,
I was just trying to
everyone
make sure
except for Eric followed the rules.
I was just trying to make sure I wasn't
Yeah,
interrupting
Eric's
you.
top
Kuipers
10 is 11 games.
Didn't have two tens.
So
Yeah.
joke's
Okay.
on you guys. All of mine are
Yeah,
two
we
games.
already figured it out.
Yeah.
They're all
My
ties.
number 9.
I
He
feel,
said
like,
his list
I
already.
feel like it's okay because Frostpunk's not going to make it on the list. So,
Yeah, probably
and
not.
someone else is going to say, "Let's go." So I, think we're fine.
I wanted to say because Ice Shield brought it up. The jerk. I'm just kidding.
Whoa!
He said scam citizen earlier. No. Thronebreaker, The Witcher Tales. That's on my list of shame too. I'd like to try that too.
Hey, real quick.
I don't think our giveaway is
the
working.
giveaway isn't working.
Oh.
So
Don't worry, he's
Jolliver's
fixing it.
entrance got
we're gonna close it and start it over. I guess.
And keep this in mind: you only win at the end anyway, so we got time.
Yeah.
We got time.
So wait, stand by for rules on how to enter to win a year of Game Pass.
Yeah.
Xbox
Feel free to
Game Pass.
spam the chat with your list.
Wait, what? Now it just showed
Best
me
games.
Wait, but you closed it. I thought.
I did,
I
and
think
now
you
it's
just needed to refresh your
now it's showing
session.
both entrants
All
of
right.
Jolliver and Ronan.
We'll
so
figure
So
it
the
out.
rest of you sneaking around in the chat, you know who you are. I can see you.
All right. So if you want to enter,
Join. Enter.
exclamation point, ticket.
ticket,
Here's
and
the-
then
Space 5.
and then the number. They're $1 a ticket. You earn $1 a minute. So if you've watched us for 5 minutes, you've got $5.
Yep. There you go. All right.
Number 9.
Number 9, Trevor.
Hitman 2. I admittedly have not played much of this game, but I am very excited to play more of it. I've always loved the Hitman games. This new one seems to really hone in on what is great about Hitman, just the ability to experiment with things. And I mean, admittedly, it's kind of just more the one that came out last year or whatever, but it's really great. So, yeah,
All right. That's it.
that's it.
Okay.
I'm glad you
Man.
put that on the list because, as you might be surprised, it's not on mine. Okay, so
Really?
on my list, on my list, number 9 is
You are the Grinch this year, aren't you?
Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Ooh.
I thoroughly enjoyed playing that game. I thought it was probably one of the better Tomb Raider games that have come out. I know that there's some other people who feel like there was some things in it they didn't like. I don't care. It's on my list. My list. Okay, go ahead.
It's your list. Number 9, I had Pool Panic, which is an Adult Swim game on the Switch. It is a bizarre twist of puzzles using pool. I would not have imagined that this game would be what it is, and I don't even know how far into that I got. There still is a ton that I have not finished, and for whatever reason, it's a fun game. If you've got a Switch, it's a good one to check out. So it made my 9. I'm seeing now that
I kind of am interested.
I'm seeing now that there is a failure to enter.
So
'cause
I
it
wonder.
says that the giveaway is
I
not
think
running.
that thing is very delayed, and you canceled it, and now it's closed again. Refresh it, maybe.
Well,
We're having so many issues.
this is so stupid.
No,
I'm
it's
just
still going. Don't
Close-
close
no,
it.
but
Close
it's
the
not letting
browser.
anybody enter.
Close the browser or log out of the app and then log back in.
Yeah, maybe clear everything. Like go to Chrome and quit.
Yeah, you got to fully clear your cache.
I don't know. Anyways,
Okay, you put yours in.
keep trying.
We got time. We got time.
All right, what are we on? Number 9?
9.
All right, my 2 games tied for number. No, I'm just kidding. Number 9 for me is Moonlighter. Moonlighter is a unique premise. I love how it tells the backstory of where your shopkeepers in RPGs get all of their gear, and you play that shopkeeper. You
Did you stream that one time?
No, I didn't.
I feel like maybe you just talked about it a lot on one of the shows.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
You play as a shopkeeper during the day, and you moonlight as a dungeon crawler, going through dungeons, killing monsters, collecting loot, and then bringing it back. And then you get to go. It's just the way that they put together these different game types is so fun because it's pretty stressful to go through the dungeons sometimes, and because you can die and you can lose all that loot. But then it's very rewarding when you get back to your shop and you open it up the next day and then you set it out, all the items out on the shelf, and you price them individually, and you don't know what they're worth a lot of times in the beginning. So you judge it by the other customers' reactions, like if they're like, "Oh, that's too expensive," or if they're like eyes light up with dollar signs.
Holy
you
crap,
know
this is a steal.
You really undersold it, and then you feel really bad. And you just start to learn what the prices should be, and you can upgrade your shop. You can make it bigger, and it's a fantastic game. It's on the Switch now. I think I bought this game like twice because I played on Xbox, and when it came on the Switch, I bought it again because I loved it so much. Play Moonlighter if you get a chance. It is endearing and charming and wonderful.
I'm really hoping that I get some money to be able to buy that.
Number 9, Kuipers.
So my number 9 is going to have to be Subnautica.
Oh, yeah.
Because, that game came out early, it had its official release, beginning of the year, and
I thought it was like March.
It did?
beginning-ish of the year.
Yeah.
It came out this year.
It came out this year.
Came out of early access.
Great game.
Yeah.
And can I mention real quick, it's free on the Epic Game Store right now. So
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
want
Oh,
it,
nice, yeah.
go download it for free. And I don't know how much longer
Wait,
that is.
it's
so
for free on what?
Epic Game Store.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
But I just kind of had fun. I watch some people play on YouTube before, but I just decided, I'm going to actually give it a try myself, and it's actually a pretty fun game for kind of interesting take on the survival crafting kind of game.
Isn't it also out on Xbox now?
I
It's
believe
kind of in their early
Or
access.
no, it's
thing.
February. It comes out.
But it's on Xbox in early access right now.
Yeah. But I think anyway. Yeah. So give it a shot.
Is it going to be in the Games Pass?
Not
That
right
would
now,
be
maybe.
nice. I did restart the
Oh, actually, it
the
says
giveaway,
December.
so
It
go ahead and
finally came out.
try now. if you are.
What do they do, Kyle?
They would put in
Here, I'll put it in the chat.
the exclamation point
Boom.
ticket 5. I feel like you're
Just like
trying
Ronan
to.
did.
It's weird that that's not registering you as entering.
No, it's because there's quotes. I think.
You got to put the
I don't know.
exclamation point ticket space 5 to
Yep.
do 5 entries. Or you can do 1. Or
Jolliver, stop
Oh, I
trying to
think
do
it's because I have-
5,000.
It's because I have other
You're
things.
getting yourself kicked out because you're doing too many.
That was 500,000 that
Whoa!
time.
All right, we got.
Yeah. There
think
you
it's
go.
5 million.
There you go. You guys are getting counted.
All right.
There's
I
numbers
think
in here.
you're
It's
right.
working. We got 4 entrants.
If you want to
Yes.
spam the chat, you could
I'm
do
sh-
one ticket 5 times.
Relevant native did. Oh wait.
No, he already had one.
You know,
I'm
it's like when they go into that plastic
Yeah.
bucket with the little slot that someone cut out of the lid of the coffee can, and you're like, I only have 5 tickets, but I want the highest probability. I'm not going to stick all 5 in at one time. I'm
my
going to stick
gosh.
one in. I'm going to come back a little later in the
all right.
night.
Okay, Jeremy.
stick with
Jeremy,
another.
We
we've got a lot to get through, and it's
And
almost
we don't
10.
need this explanation of putting
We are
tickets.
only
Just
on
saying.
number
I
9.
feel like we're waiting on
cares?
Trevor now.
Trevor, number 8.
Number 8. Battlefield 5.
Interesting.
I've always loved Battlefield games. I liked Battlefield 1, but I think it being World War I kind of limited it in some ways, and I mean, there's some faults with Battlefield 5, but I don't know. I'm just always going to love Battlefield unless they just do something horrific to it. Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited. I like it, and I'm excited to play more of it, so.
Jeremy.
Spider-Man. Yes, I said it.
Wow, it made his list.
Spider-Man.
Ooh.
Yeah, and Hitman didn't. Isn't that crazy? I have a reason, but we can talk about it later.
We'll get to that. Do you
When
have a
I
reason-
fight for Hitman to be in the top.
Do you have a reason
10.
for Spider-Man?
It was a good game. It was a really good game. It was the best superhero game that's ever come out, period. The best video game with a superhero, in my opinion.
I think I might agree with you.
I think the way that they treated the story with with Spider-Man kept it fresh, which I thought was going to be difficult to do with Spider-Man. I think they gave enough variety in the types of mini. They weren't mini games, but world-related activities that you could do. There was enough variety in them that I didn't feel like I was stuck hunting a specific, path. I was more concerned with what was in the area of the map that I was in than I have to go to the next main mission. And I think a lot of people probably played it that way, where it was less straight drive. Most of these big world games,
Open world.
open world, yeah. It's a kind of anyway. A lot of times people will just do the primary story and go, "Oh, I don't care about all the side stuff." But this didn't feel like that. It felt more like a sandbox than some others. So
Cool.
thought it was a good game.
Kyle, number 8.
My number 8, I had Far Cry 5. I spent a lot of time with that game. I felt like it was. I mean, it was Far Cry, and it was in a new environment that was different. That felt like it gave it a little bit of a fresh perspective, and I really enjoyed it. So finished at number 8 on my list.
Awesome. My number 8 is Celeste. This game I started playing. It came out at the beginning of the year. I played it at the end of the year, and it captured my little heart. No, I really like this game. It's a platformer that's punishing and rewarding, but what I really like about it is that it's a by-screen platformer. So every time you get to a new screen, you can die as many times as you want. And you just have to start over and retry that screen, and so what's really rewarding about it as you play that over and over again, these little chunks of the map or the world become like muscle memory, and you get really good at it because it's so challenging. You have to be good at it, or you are not going to get to the end of it. And so that reward of it's just incremental. So like the first fourth of the screen, you're like, oh, I'm flying through this part. I always get through it. I always nail it. And then, now half of it, and now 3/4 of it. And then you just kind of get so good at that last run where you get through all of it. You're just like ecstatic with it. But anyways, Celeste is a really, really fun game. if you like platformers and you're okay with failing a lot and learning from your failures, it's exciting. So
Interesting point on that one. All the rest of us had that on our list of shame.
Yeah.
So
definitely check it out. It is a really good game, and it's not just a hipster game, Irrelevant Native. Kyle, disqualify him from the competition.
Sorry, I can't. I don't have that much control.
you know he has to trigger you at least once or
Oh,
twice.
I'm teasing. All right, Kuipers, number 8.
All right, so my number 8 was Kirby Star Allies on the Switch because I've always been a fan of the Kirby series, and having one that the multiplayer worked really well was actually kind of exciting too. Because like I was honestly a little bit jealous of actually playing Kirby. Because when I did do the multiplayer, because someone else, they got to be like Meta Knight, King DDD. It's like, aw, I want to be those guys.
Yeah.
I only get the power-ups.
Thinking about it,
But-
I thought about I wanted to play that game and never got to it. I don't think it makes my list of shame, but that's when I may
Hey.
end up.
Hey, Great
Hey,
Quantum.
thanks.
Thank,
Thank
you
you
for
for
following.
following.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh, is it
Keep in mind, if you want to win the Game Pass, the details are in the chat.
Yep. Put exclamation point ticket space 5.
Did you want to say more about that?
Yeah,
Kuipers?
Kuipers, were you done?
I think that's good.
All right. I never got a chance to play Kirby's. I should have put that on my list of shame. I wanted
Should've.
to check it out.
That was a new one, wasn't
Yep.
it?
Yep. On
Okay.
the Switch. Go, Trevor.
Number 7, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Ooh.
I liked that game way more than I ever thought I would. I've been having just a blast with it until I got obsessed with Diablo 3. But it's so much fun, and it's nice having it just on the go. It looks really great. It runs really great. Yeah, it's really fun. It's well designed. I'm excited to finally unlock Snake because it's taken forever. But yeah, and it's shockingly difficult. Like for some of the things, I'm kind of surprised how ruthless it can be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, my number 7, Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Now you might wonder why it's not higher on my list, and that's because I really think it should only be the zombies game that should qualify, because
What?
the zombies is amazing.
Oh my god.
I know none of
I'm
you
sorry.
guys care.
I forgot that this
It's
was not a
because
point where I was.
It's okay. None of you guys care about the zombie stuff because you don't get it, and that's fine. It's not a I'm better than you. It's just something I
No,
like.
I'm
and
just.
you don't like.
I'm not. I'm fine that you like it. I was just surprised that you said that it doesn't. The other part of the game doesn't matter.
Oh, it's not that great at all. The rest of the game is boring. I mean, even their.
Oh, boy.
No,
We're
I'm
gonna
dead
have fun
serious because even I thought they did a great example of a battle royale. However, it just didn't capture my attention. So,
Because it's so much better than PUBG. Is that why?
but it's not. But it's not.
Okay. All right, Kyle.
It's
number. We're good. We're good. Let's move on. Kyle. Number 7.
The
Number
shooting
7.
is so easy.
Shut up! You've had your time.
He's not supposed to argue with me. He keeps breaking the rules.
You guys
It's
interrupted
not my fault. It's his
Number
fault.
7, Sea of Thieves. It was fun. Eric, go ahead.
That's all you're gonna say.
It was fun, Kyle.
It's a great game.
It is
It's
fun,
a great
Kyle.
game for playing with people. It doesn't feel like it quite has the legs to carry itself without people, but with people, it is a great experience. Especially if you are in a group of sailors that you get along with, and it creates an enjoyable gaming experience.
And it's a game you can get drunk in, Kyle.
All right. Number 7. He's just trying
You
to
act
trigger.
like that's all I ever did in that game.
Just trying to trigger you. It worked.
All right. Number 7 for me is Spider-Man. That game, Jeremy said a lot about what makes that game great. I do agree with him. I think it is probably one of, if not the best superhero game out there. It took that Batman combat to another level, and it really. They've done with Spider-Man games in the past with good web swinging, but it just nailed it on this in every possible way. And it was a lot of fun. It's lower on my list because I hit a point where I was just done with the game. Like, I had a lot of fun, but I was just like, nope, I don't want to play this anymore. So, but yeah, Spider-Man number 7.
All right.
Types.
For my number 7, it was a game that you guys probably may not have actually heard of. It's called Dragalia Lost. It was a mobile game that was actually released by Nintendo, and it's probably one of the best mobile games I've actually played. Like, because you actually have like
I need to
full,
check that out.
you have like full control of the character movement, like full control of the attacks, and like you kind of just like
It's a dungeon crawler, isn't it?
it's like a dungeon crawler like on your like for mobile, but it's actually like well designed, and it's actually like pretty good for a mobile game. I kind of thought.
Yeah, I was interested in that one. I didn't pick it up though. So
Cool.
Good to know it's good though.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 6, right? Yeah, number 6. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. In some ways, I didn't want to put this game on there because they do some kind of weird things that I don't want to reward. 6.
But it made it to 6? Okay.
It made it a 6 because it is extremely fun, and I think it's kind of the dawning of a new age for Assassin's Creed. Because they kind of treat things a bit differently, which took me a little while to kind of get used to because I was like, oh, this feels kind of weird, and it used to be kind of a little more realistic. But I think it works better for it. It makes it more fun, rather than kind of focusing on some elements that just, I don't know. And it incorporated like all of the elements I love. I love like it does the stealth well, it does the combat really well. And it doesn't feel really stupid because I didn't like Origins combat, and for some reason it feels better now. What?
No, sorry, I was talking to Kybers.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Stop talking off mic, guys.
The ship stuff feels good, even though they're not pirate ships. I prefer pirate ships, but these still feel really good, and it did a lot of really cool things, and it's just a ton of fun. So, yeah,
Awesome.
My number 6, State of Decay 2. Had a lot of fun with that game. If you haven't played that game and you win Game Pass, you can play for free. That's all I'll say. Move on.
Such a shill.
No, I'm just trying to be considerate of time.
Yeah, okay.
you say that like it's a bad thing. He's doing his
You're
job.
right. You're right.
Yeah.
I guess you're right.
Yeah, we got it.
Just,
Shield.
yeah. Number 6, I had Detroit Become Human. I know that's probably not something that is going to land on everybody's list, considering it was on somebody's list of shame, and I think it was on someone's honorable mentions. I really, really enjoyed the aspects of that game. It moved a little bit slower, but what are you laughing at?
Irrelevant Native told Jeremy, State of Decay 2 is trash. And Jeremy goes, you're trash. And it just was a silly little interaction that I couldn't help but laugh
Yeah. I think you're right, Irrelevant Native.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, I
You're
don't know.
at the
There
trailer
was
park
something
next to
about
it.
Detroit Become Human that was it was a different kind of game than I am used to playing, and it was I don't know, it was just kind of more of that experience type of game. I actually enjoyed the story a lot, and the way that you got to kind of decide which way your characters were going to go, and even though I know it's one of those where there's like only 3 total outcomes you can have at the end of the game, there's a lot of different things that I was like, I think I got completely different playthroughs than Eric did in a lot of different stories when we've talked about it. So just the way that it moves, and it doesn't seem like it stutters in like a I'm thinking about where you're going to go next because of this. It just feels straightforward, and I enjoyed the game a lot.
It's a big boy choose your own adventure book.
It is. It is.
All right, hopefully my number 6
Good or bad robot.
Hopefully my number 6 doesn't shake things up too much. But my number 6 is Red Dead Redemption 2.
You are trash.
Wow.
Yeah, you know.
I put Red Dead at number 6 because it's hard because it falls in this place of amazement and disappointment. It falls right in the middle of that, where I am at times amazed and astonished at that game and just fascinated and excited to play it, where other times I've expressed many times on the show that it felt like a chore sometimes to play through it. Like I felt like I was just doing it because I had to, because I needed to see it. And towards the end of the game, like there were elements of it that I just loved, but on the flip side, there were just parts of that game that it felt punishing, and in a way that I didn't enjoy, and I couldn't. Yeah, I know that maybe seems crazy to some people, and that's fine. This is my personal list, but it is definitely for me not as great of a game as I'd hoped for, and it's number 6.
I too am on the trend of shockers for number 6.
I think most of your list has been a shocker for me. Kuipers, I'm sorry.
Well, sorry we have different tastes in games.
Yeah,
Eat it. You're not allowed to have different tastes. We must
So,
all like the
number
same
6.
My number 6 is Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Wow.
really?
Okay, you're right. That is shocking.
Exactly.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I was excited for the game. I got the game. I played the game. It met my expectations. I haven't gone too much into the story mode of it yet, so it may be a bit early to judge it based on that, but then again, that also could be just part of the problem too. There are other games I had more time with, got to have more experiences with them too, and actually enjoying them more.
All right.
So
There it is.
it's number 6 for me.
Trevor.
Oh, sorry. I was too busy being
Shocked.
shocked.
Number 5.
Number 5, Sea of Thieves. I think Kyle hit it earlier. I think right. Who
Kyle.
was? Yeah, Kyle hit it earlier.
That's
It's
me.
just like it was a bit bare bones, but at the same time, it's unlike any other experience I've had. I've had so many experiences with that game that were just so much fun. Whether that's just drunkenly puking on people, playing music. I had this awesome time where it was me and Kuipers and my roommate, and we fought the big
Megalodon.
the megalodon, and afterwards we had everybody on the ship, and it was just this cool moment. And I think that game really enabling these really cool moments was the big part of it. And it's just I like that game a lot. I need to play more of it.
All right, my number 5, Subnautica. I put a ton of hours in that game. The best way I can explain my feelings towards it was it's what No Man's Sky world should have been in my mind when that game came out. It's what I wanted that game to be for an alien world. And the ability to find so much world depth or diversity in this environment and the things you had to do to build to save yourself, which I never ended up doing, and I still plan on going back to it and finally finishing. But all of it being underwater for the most part just captured me in a way that I don't think I've ever had for a game that was really focused completely on an underwater world.
Awesome. Number 5, Kyle.
Number 5, I had Pokemon Let's Go. That game hit me in a very weird, nostalgic way, in the fact that it is a remake, but there's so much that's been changed in it, and it's the perfect type of game to, sit on the couch and watch TV and play the game at the same time, because it doesn't take the same kind of attention away. I think it's a great game, and I've enjoyed it a lot. And going back through it, having played that years ago when it was yellow and technically red and blue, it just hit all the nostalgia things for me too. So
Cool. My number 5 is Into the Breach. It's a strategy game.
I forgot that one came out this year.
It's a strategy game that it consumed a lot of my time. I played on PC, and when it came out for Switch, I was like, I'm starting over because I really like this game.
Yeah.
And it's a chill game to play, and I
You like
think
it better on the Switch?
I do, just because of the convenience of it. Being able to sit on the couch and do the multitasking thing of watching Netflix or something and playing it. It's one of those games where like it takes a concept and it just makes it the best it's been. Like for a strategy game like that, like it's simplistic in a way that reminds me of Advance Wars, and I love those games on the I think it was on the DS. And it also it's just one of those things where it was fun and it was. I guess what I'm saying is when I built this list, I tried to think about what games did I play this year where I was having fun and I wasn't thinking about just plowing through the game. Like it took my mind away from like the objectives and just let me have fun. And I feel like this is just one of those games where I was just playing it because it was a good time, and it wasn't anything that it wasn't graphically, it's not anything special, but it is. It's a good charming art style and everything like that. But yeah, Into the Breach, it's a winner.
Kuipers, can you put that on my honorable mentions, please? Because I completely forgot that game came out this year, and I feel really silly.
That's my list of shame.
That might have changed my list.
That was honorable mentions for you, Kyle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Since my list is we're already into it.
Already in the weeds.
Yep.
So I'll just do my number 5 first, though.
Yeah, do it.
All right. So for number 5, I had Dead Cells
Ooh, good choice.
because I actually had a good time playing that game. Like it was rage-inducing, but it also that's what drew me to it all the more. It just
Those
kinda
are the
like,
best games.
You get like once that little bit of progress, that's kind of like, okay, I'm doing better. All right, I actually beat a boss this time. Woohoo! Okay, and wow, I died right off the bat this next round. Okay,
Yeah.
good times.
That is an entire turnoff of a
That-
game for
that-
me.
Yeah, I just wish I was better at that game. It's a really cool concept.
All right.
Go ahead, Trevor. Number
4.
Wow.
Spider-Man.
Woo!
I loved that game. It was a ton of fun. The second game I've ever platinumed.
I was gonna say you platinumed that one, didn't you?
Yep. Yeah. I haven't played. I didn't realize this at first, but I bought the edition that comes with the season pass, and I haven't played the DLC yet, but I'm excited to do so. Yeah, I can't really say anything more beyond what's already been said, other than it's not my favorite superhero game ever. That will always, in my heart, take Infamous 2. Be taken by Infamous 2.
Okay, that's. I
love
mean,
that
that's not a superhero game, though, is it?
Infamous 2? It is definitely a superhero game.
Okay,
It's
I
not
guess
a comic
All
book.
right,
Not
so
comic book, I
my
guess.
It's comic
number
book inspired.
4.
Though. Yeah. No, it's a great game. Go ahead, though. Sir.
Yeah, my number 4, Sea of Thieves. I think it's higher up on the list for me than others who have it on their list. Probably most specifically, and I'm sure you all agree, there's something about being a pirate that just fits my devious personality in video games. The ability to attack other people, sink their boats, steal their treasure.
Booty.
Booty. I was going to say that and didn't. The fact that
Jeremy's a deviant.
I wore an eye patch at one
Shiver me
time multiple times in my life, and I said "shiver me timbers" to the lady at the checkout counter. I just feel like
A pirate's life for Jeremy.
It was a great game. I will go back to it, but definitely a game that requires playing with friends.
Number 4, I had Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I didn't finish it. It's one that I will go back to once I have finally finished another game. But I don't know. I really like the direction that Assassin's Creed has gone. I don't think I played Origins until the beginning of this year. And jumping back into Odyssey, I think that they're onto something in the new direction that they have taken the series. So I'm hopeful that they will continue down that path and in a way that feels like it fits and it's one of the most enjoyable, I think. And I'm excited to see where the rest of the game itself goes. But I think it deserves to be pretty high on the list this year.
Cool. All right. My number 4 is Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Whoa! Sorry.
For the complete
everything-
opposite reason of
Everything
Jeremy.
but zombie mode.
I just feel like you barely played it. But anyway, that's just me.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I
shouldn't
I
stir.
did barely play most of that game. I played a lot of the Blackout, and I think that even though I probably end up playing more Fortnite at the end of the day, that's mainly due to my son, and I play with him a lot. But if I were to pick my favorite that
Battle
that
Royale.
battle royale type gameplay, I would pick Black Ops or Blackout mode.
You
I
let me know. I'll play with you anytime.
I think that it's a weird thing where you can tell that they were like, okay, we got to make this. Like, this is what we got to do. And I don't know how rushed it was or how fast they made it. But I feel like it just feels like the most polished polished version of that. I like that it to me, it takes the aspects of PUBG that I enjoy and Fortnite, and it combines them.
The easier shooting. Sorry.
I mean, I feel like that's something that a person like you would say, and that's fine.
No, I mean it's
I
it's the snap-on shooting that you get with a Xbox game. That's all. That's-
Okay. Anyways, I understand where you're coming from with that, but I mean that's just such a petty thing to say because it's that bro mentality of, oh, I don't like it because of the easier shooting. I like it because it's not janky and it doesn't, like, your characters don't move like stupid Muppets. It, like, I
It's
like
got the
it.
AAA glow.
I like that it has
does
the
have
AAA polish.
Yeah,
It has nothing to do with the
polish
shooting.
of Call of Duty. You're
PUBG
absolutely
was
right.
my game of the year last year. Okay, so it's not that. It's just that it came out and it did it better in my mind. It's nothing to do with that. I think that.
I'm sorry, I should have been quiet.
Yeah, you should have.
Yeah.
Jeez. No, but anyways, that's number 4 for me. I know that seems crazy, but as I thought back on the year, every time I played Blackout mode, it wasn't a ton. It probably was it probably wasn't one of the games I played the most, but it was one that I definitely had the most fun with when I played it. So, number 4, Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
For me, my number 4 was Iconoclasts, which was more of an indie platformer kind of game that, like, it was good times. Like, I've actually played it through the entirety of it. Like, didn't have the difficulty that Dead Cells had, but still had like enough fun and just kind of just interesting ways to do stuff. Where just as you upgrade, kind of re-going through maps and exploring more area. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I feel like that would have been on my list of shame, but I was already too long. But
Yeah.
that's a good game. It looks really cool.
Oh boy, now we're getting down to it.
3.
Number
Pretty
3, Monster Hunter World. I expected to like this game a lot because I used to play the old Monster Hunter games on my PSP a long time ago, and I loved them. And Monster Hunter World brought that to the modern consoles in a huge way, and it just runs so well. It's designed so well. I mean, and I know it's pretty weird. It's still got kind of like a lot of the kind of the Eastern mentality for a lot of things, even though they did bring some good Western things to it. And I'm continually just, I love that game. It's, yeah, I don't know what else I can say other than that. It's well designed. I love watching the cats make the food.
The food always does look delicious.
It's crazy how good it looks. Yeah, I love that game.
All right, mine. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I know a lot of people said things about that game. The reason it's so high up on my list for me, I didn't play the game when it first came out. I waited a couple of weeks because I expected it to be as bad as I thought the Assassin's Creed games were becoming. And they turned the entire franchise on its head, and I'm excited to see where they go from here. So,
Cool.
I love that game.
3, I had Spider-Man, which is, I think, the only game that I have ever platinumed that was not a game that you platinum just for playing the game from start to finish. The way that, like, the Telltale games are or whatnot. That game was fantastic. I mean, everything that's already been said. It's probably the best comic book game that has ever been made. And it was, I loved the way that they kind of tiered back all of the different open world objectives in a way that felt like it was manageable if you wanted to go after certain things before you really jumped further into the story. It was something that was, I don't know. It was an accomplishment, I think, getting through everything. and it had so many nods to the Marvel universe that were great, and not like a, hey, look at this thing. Did you see that? Did you see that? Do you know what that's from? It felt like it was subtle and it fit in the world and it was supposed to be there, which I think is very hard to do with the amount of things that they put in there. So, yeah, it was a great game.
Cool. My number 3, I don't know if this will come as a surprise. It might. It surprised me. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Since this game came out, I have played it so much. I am baffled at myself. I am almost upset with
Because
myself.
you were like attacking people who love that game.
I wasn't attacking people.
Kind of were.
Damn.
Kind of were.
I mean, I still think Smash players are awful, but I just.
But now you're one of
I
them.
mean, now I've joined. I don't know.
One of us. One of us.
It's now self-loathing rather than just external hate.
Okay, so I've played all the Smash games, and I do the same thing every time. I buy them, I play them for like an hour, and I never touch them again. And I assumed that this would be the situation with this one. But I think partially the fascination of all of the characters that are in the game that I wanted to unlock kept me going. But then what really sunk its hooks into me is the Spirit mode. I mean, that mode is so chock full of Nintendo nostalgia that I am excited to see what's around every corner. I want this spirit. I want that spirit. That's so cool. I can't believe they put this in there. Why is this thing in there? Why is Strangelove in this game? I don't know. It's a Metal Gear thing.
Nice, yeah.
It's just like there are so many crazy things in there that it's like, and maybe it's just playing on my nostalgia, but it still just keeps driving me to play that game. And the thing is, all of a sudden, I found myself going down a dark hole where I'm getting super into Smash, and I'm learning techniques, and I'm watching videos on YouTube about how to play the game, and I'm like, oh, and all of a sudden I got good at it, and I started beating the computer, and like I was like, man. Anyways, I am just I'm surprised at myself for putting this on my top 3, but then again, I tried to make this list about games that I was having fun with, and there it is.
How does it feel to have Super Smash Bros. On your list higher than it is on mine, Eric?
When I saw that was like your number 6 or whatever, I was just like, uh-oh. This is gonna be weird for me.
That's why I said it was like hard to not comment when you gave me your list at first.
What is a relevant native? Oh, he put a game key in there.
Oh,
Nobody
nice.
wants it,
So my number 3 would be God of War.
all right.
And like I love the story of that game actually. Like it was I know I didn't really get into it as much at first, like everyone else was, but the more I played it, the more I liked it. And just the amount of detail just with the graphics as well as with just the amount of details I had to put on the axe to be able to like to do the actions when you throw it, and then not only when you throw it, but also when it's pulling back to you.
Yeah.
Like that was just like that is a crazy amount of detail. I was so impressed with that.
All right. I love that we're at number 2 because I feel like this is where it gets a little dicey. Where like when Trevor says his number 2, I feel like I will know his number 1 at that point. So yeah. So anyways,
I think that's the same for both of us.
all right. So Trevor, take it away with number 2.
God of War.
Oh snap!
I was.
Go ahead and put down his number 1 there too.
I know, right?
You can put it down. You know what it is.
Let's just keep going.
I
just wait.
I was.
Just wait.
Hey.
Wait.
The quiet
Kuipers, you win the year. Oh,
How
my
did you
goodness.
know?
Because it's Kuiper's number 1 game.
the quiet man.
I played the 5th.
Yeah, God of War was incredible, and like honestly, the how incredible it was. You could have told me that the studio had planned on making 4 whatever previous games like they did, and having them be kind of like surface level, just killing, and then masterfully turn it into this great story of redemption and fatherhood and responsibility. And it's just it does so many things so well, and I've just watched like the ending several times just because it's just the use of music is so good in it. The use of just subtle body language for the characters is just so good. It's an incredible game, and I never expected to be blown away as much as I was by that game. And it's just super fun, too. I just like that game. Yeah.
Okay, so mine, Red Dead Redemption 2. Obvious reasons why. It was good. But
I am
here's,
so
good.
but
I
here's the
am
deal. Here's the deal. Here's why it doesn't win number one. We get
Oh,
that
and
Thank you
follow?
for following.
Omega Scooby, thank you very much.
Scooby.
I'm gonna put in the chat how you can win. All right, the drawing that we're doing at the end of the show. But the reason it's not number one for me, I think it's a very clear reason why, and that is online sucks.
It's a
Online
weird,
sucks.
Weird
no,
flex.
because I feel
but,
like
yeah,
it's
okay.
such. No, I feel like it's supposed to be such an important part of this game.
It's a beta.
It doesn't. It sucks. It's really bad.
It's not.
It's really bad.
It's not the point of the game.
It is the.
not-
You know what?
No.
You know what? The other reason, and I don't want to give any spoilers, but they took away all that stuff I earned,
Okay, move
and
on.
it irritated
All
me.
right.
So that's why it's not number one.
Oh my gosh, really?
All right, Kyle.
God of War, number 2.
Yeah.
Trevor and I are in agreement. No arguing this year, Trevor. No. You and I are on the same team this
Sea of
time.
Thieves, God of War, Red Dead Redemption. Sorry, go
Well,
ahead.
spoilers.
Yeah, I didn't say what my number 1 game of the year was
I'm
yet.
sorry. The Quiet Man.
Where was Sea of
Yeah.
Thieves in your? Oh, okay.
God
never
God
mind.
of War was I've never played a game in the series, and if you haven't, I feel like this is a perfect game to jump in on. I didn't quite go around on a lot of the side stuff that it had, or do a lot of the exploring that I think I could have, and some of it was just because the story was so good. I immediately wanted to just keep following it and finding out what the next thing was and what the next thing was. That and I tried taking out some Valkyries and they were just.
Oh my gosh.
I almost threw things at my TV.
That's why I've not platinumed that game. I forgot.
But that game in and of itself, the story alone, like even if there was none of the side quests or anything else, the story alone, that is the reason that it's this high. I did not expect that heartfelt a story that was that great to come out of the God of War game, and it did. So that's my 2 cents on that.
All right. Number 2 for me is Tetris Effect. I gotta say, a game that I've loved since my childhood has been reinvigorated and made into something incredible. Music and challenging gameplay. They took Tetris and they made it into something that feels new and fresh, and it feels like a new game, even though it's the familiar blocks that you remember. Again, I wouldn't have thought a puzzle game would have been number 2 on my list, but it was so impactful. Like it blew me away every time you beat a level on that game. You would go to the next one and just go, oh, holy crap, this is just such an immersive, just over, like your sensory overload with that game.
And you didn't even play it in VR.
And I haven't played it in VR, no.
Can I come over when? I mean, if your wife gets you the
VR for
PlayStation
Christmas,
VR for
yes.
Christmas.
It is really, really, really something special. I think people might downplay it because of the fact that it's a puzzle game, and you're going, well, where's the narrative? Where's the this? Where's the that?
Games
Good
don't have to
games-
have
yeah,
that.
But-
good games don't need a narrative.
But it is a game. It is a video game, and I feel like it's special because of its history and what they've done to it. Like what
Its
they've
longevity.
They made so many different Tetris games that are like, okay, whatever. It's a little spin on it, but they have recreated it in a way that is really, really, really fun. And so if you get a chance or opportunity to play Tetris Effect, don't pass it up. It's a great game. So
I'll be over sometime after Christmas.
okay.
So my number 2 was Pokemon Let's Go. I chose the Eevee edition just so that way I could
So
actually.
you could trade with
Yeah,
me
so I
and
could
Eric?
trade. So like
Yeah.
I'm like
Okay.
I'm like the gatekeeper, just kind of like, oh, you want this one? Well, what you got for me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
the wheeler and dealer.
Yeah.
that
Other
reminds me.
terms for that.
I need to bring my,
Yeah,
my
I do
Switch
too.
sometime.
But anywho, so
do
I
it.
I was struck with the nostalgia, kind of like Eric was with Tetris, because Pokemon was more my childhood game growing up. Especially Pokemon Yellow was my first introduction. So I
Are you
opted
calling
for,
Eric old?
Yeah.
well,
He liked that old game. I don't think I said the
exactly.
He
Let's
went
be-
after you instead of me saying that
That's fine.
Pokemon hit
Let's
nostalgia.
be honest, though. Tetris
Well-
came out well before Eric started playing video games.
Did
Fair.
it?
I did not
Oh, yeah.
mean it as a jab like that. I didn't realize that until after he pointed it out to me. But I just thought it was ironic that there was like, oh, a choice of game because it really hit that nostalgia vibe. Hey, same here.
Hey, but you know what? It's also fun. So
Yeah.
There.
Exactly. And like I really liked what the changes that they made with the Pokemon games as they just kind of made it adding the more of the Pokemon Go type gameplay to it, just really kind of changed things and brought to like it was a struggle at first, but the more I played it, the more I liked it.
Awesome. All right, number 1. I don't feel like there's any surprise here for a couple of
There's-
us, but
There's no shock here. Red Dead Redemption 2. The original one, Red Dead Redemption, was my favorite game of all time, and I think Red Dead Redemption 2 made some choices that weren't popular with other people. However, they hit me right in where I like games. I love nice survival elements. I love how it took a little more grounded way, a little more simulation-y, I guess is kind of a word for it. Ways to do things, and I love that. I don't know. It just, and then with all the characters were just also so good. I mean, Arthur Morgan is a incredible character that has just such depth, and I don't know. He's just such an interesting character, and I'm excited to try and play it through again, just to kind of see. Because I did a good playthrough, because I always start with a good playthrough, and I'd like to try and see what a bad playthrough looks like.
Do it.
And
Oh
just
my
to
gosh.
see.
You get the achievement.
I couldn't
Yeah.
even imagine playing it as. I did.
I
good
thought
too,
it gave
and
him so much more depth to play.
no,
Interesting.
it doesn't.
Oh, it totally
How?
does.
No.
Oh.
Depth by being the bad. You have to
Yes.
actually. It's not interesting. None of the bad stuff is interesting. Like playing as the good guy in that game is what makes it interesting. Like I don't think there's any depth.
Playing as the good guy makes the first game.
All right.
Relevant Native's gonna make fun of me for my use of depth, but no, he's such an interesting character, and even like Sadie's a great character. I like Charles a lot. Who why can't I think of his name? Who's the boss?
Dutch.
Dutch. Why couldn't I think of that? Dutch is so interesting because he's
I was gonna say it
he's
was
such
Tony,
a
but
seedy kind of character in different ways, and it's interesting to see him change throughout the game, or at least maybe reveal his face in a lot of different ways. And I'm excited to try out more of the online stuff, because I have actually been enjoying what I have played. I haven't played a whole lot of it. Well, I've probably played more than anybody else, but I'm excited to try that all out. And I don't know. For me, it's God of War was, and honestly, Monster Hunter were far closer than I could have ever expected any game to be. I will say too, though, I do think Red Dead Redemption could have been better in some ways. I don't think it's was quite the ground-shaking technological programming behemoth it was supposed to be. I think they could have afforded to innovate in some ways, especially with the mission structure stuff. It was a little dry at times in different ways, but I don't know. That game just I can understand other people might not like quite as much as I do, but for me it hit me in everything I like, and it was just incredible.
All right.
All right, so my number one game I'm going to take from.
I'm so confused at what your game is going to be.
Yeah,
can't
I don't even
What's not
know.
on my list?
I don't know. You've got
already
Metal
said-
Gear Survive on your list.
You already said Hitman wasn't on your list.
I know,
so-
right?
All right, just give it to us because I'm. It's probably gonna be obvious, but
I'm taking, I've changed it a little bit because I'm taking from Eric's number 10, and I'm going to say there's two of them. The first one, I'm just going to
you
mention.
can't say
it's
two number
roundabout
ones.
because if you haven't played that game,
oh,
you
shut up, whatever.
that
waste
did
2
not
hours
come out
of your
this
life
year.
No,
and play that
Oh.
game. No, I'm kidding.
That game. Okay, I
It's-
didn't even
No.
know what you're talking about.
Don't put it on there ever.
You committed
Listen,
to it.
listen.
Whatever your game number one
Far,
really
Far
is.
Cry 5. I know you guys. Listen, you guys know enough about me to know why I love that game. It has rednecks. It has religious cults.
I love that you're on this show.
Like seriously, guys, that game took America.
Stop yelling in your microphone.
Sorry,
I can't handle
that,
it.
That game was the best game that's ever been portrayed in the United States ever. I thought it was beautiful. It was a beautiful game for those reasons. Just saying. Best game of the year, Far Cry 5. You guys think it's funny? It was magical. They took something that could have had a huge negative spin on it, and they still made it work, and it was amazing. Maybe it's because of my childhood. I don't know. You guys all brought in your
Ron-
childhood. Well, you
Ronan's-
love games.
Ronan's wondering if this is an off-season April Fool's joke.
No, I'm dead serious. I thoroughly enjoyed playing that game, and it's number one.
Far Cry 5 was
Now,
fun,
why
was a
Hitman
fun
2
game.
very good
wasn't
game,
on
yeah.
there is because it feels like Hitman 1, and I wish they would have done it episodic because I feel like I would have played the game more and longer if they did it episodic like they did one.
I agree with
Just
you
saying.
on that a lot.
That's why it's not on my list. Okay.
All right. Well, that was the biggest shocker of them all tonight, I think.
Hey, it's on a lot of other lists, just not as high.
Oh man. All right. Kyle. Number one, I've
Red Dead Redemption 2.
there it is.
Yeah, that game. I mean, like Trevor said, it hit all the things and then
All
some.
the things.
All the things that I was looking for in this game, and then some. I think this is the most. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Like as far as the way that Rockstar likes to put their games together in a way that you are playing like an anti-hero. I think this one was the most interesting play on it because they literally put you in a place in front of a story that you already knew, seeing how that all plays out and seeing where everything is going wrong, and it made for a very interesting dynamic as you're playing through. Going, I know that these guys are going to be here, and then this guy's going to be here. Hey, thanks for the follow.
Hey, thanks.
VDH 360.
VDH, look in the chat for rules to enter the drawing.
Yes. But yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2, my game of the year.
Bravo. Well, it's probably not going to be any surprise what my game of the year is. It's God of War.
Oh, the Quiet Man. I thought it was the Quiet Man.
No, not the Quiet Man.
It lost it because the second playthrough with the sound ruined it.
Here's where God of War wins for me. It checks all the boxes. It was fun. The story merged with the gameplay in a satisfying and exciting way. And that's where I feel like that's kind of my counter to what Red Dead was. I think Red Dead might have been the greatest video game story I've ever been a part of. I've ever been played. I think that storytelling in there is second to none. But I don't think that the gameplay matched how good that story was. And for me, it was a letdown. It was like it'd be like a great Netflix series, but it just was not. The gameplay just did not deliver for me. I think God of War, it delivers on gameplay, it delivers on story, there's moments of that game where, especially, I mean, and maybe it's because I have played through like all the God of War games, and you get to that point where he brings out his, he goes back home and he lifts up the floorboard, and you know what he's going after, and he gets his blades, and I just it was just such an awesome moment. There is just so much about that game that was just painstakingly done to a perfect level. Like where games like Red Dead, I feel like there was just so many little things that were unpolished and like a little bit off. Like it just, and this game didn't do that. Like there was nothing about God of War that wasn't just masterfully produced and painstakingly developed. It's really just a gorgeous game, and it's fun to play. Like Kuipers mentioned earlier, the axe is incredibly satisfying. There is just so much about that game that is done right that I fought it too. I was like, I'm gonna put something else at number 1 because they already know I'm gonna put this game there. Like I fought it, and I was like, what am I gonna put there? And I could not, in good conscience, not put the best game of the year in my number 1 spot. God of War. There it is for me, number 1. Kuipers.
All right.
What is it?
My number 1 game of the year was Sea of Thieves.
Wow. All right.
I was going to guess Skyrim.
Good try.
I can get why, because the times I played that game with you, you got very into it.
Yeah, like I think honestly, going with a fat character probably made it even better for me. Because just seeing everyone's reaction when it's just like, beached whale.
You
Wait,
were
that's just
you were tall
Yeah.
and huge.
Yeah, like I chose a round character. Like
giant
imagine
ball.
playing Kirby in that game, and that's kind of about what the character looked like.
I'm surprised
But-
your character fit down in the lower decks of the
Right.
boat.
And the funny thing is too, that's where I stayed most of the time too. Like, I'd be the one patching up the ship afterwards. But
I don't want to move much.
that game though, I had so many fun times. Like the time Trevor was talking about, where we fought the Megalodon. Then there's that other time that at least I remember. At least we were playing Jeremy as well as Trevor. Like
When we stole all the gold from all those other people.
yeah,
gosh,
and
yeah,
then
that
got
all
the Kraken
around
to
the map dropping.
Oh my gosh!
yeah,
Yes,
and the Kraken attacked them.
That was so great.
Oh
as
yeah,
they
that
took
was
it.
great.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
so much
so
fun.
many good moments like that. Like I don't think I ever had really a bad moment or a bad experience playing that game.
Yeah.
and that's why that was my game of the year.
Awesome.
Cool.
My favorite part of that game is how that time when someone took a screenshot of the camera below the boat when the Kraken was attacking, and it was just the arms, and there actually isn't a Kraken under the water. That's really cool. Anyways, love that game. There's all of our top 10 lists.
How do we decide this?
Now comes the point where we build
Oh, man.
one cohesive list. And
So-
I feel like people are just like going to give in to atrophy and like be like, whatever, just put
I
that
feel
one
like
on the
Just
anything
wanna go to
that is
bed.
only mentioned once should just be crossed off.
No.
Shameful.
Not
No,
necessarily.
because- absolutely necessarily.
No, not if they can defend it. Not if you can defend it and make a plea.
I think we need to
for
look
why
at
that game should be on the list.
Don't even
Cough
try
off HQ
Kuipers.
trivia.
Don't even
hang
try
on
Kuipers.
games that I think we need to look for the games that are on everybody's list or the majority
Yeah,
of
That's
people's
what I was
lists.
All right,
saying. If
Kuipers,
there's multiples,
let's
they
start the
should
list.
Go to the top.
Let's put God of War on there. Let's put Red Dead on there.
Far Cry,
Spider-Man's
Far
on
Cry.
there.
Okay, well, slow down. Spider-Man. Are you typing these up or not?
Well, I'm trying to figure out where's the best to put him.
Well, just put them
Editing,
in a
everything.
Put them on the right hand
Yeah,
side in the
maybe.
number. You just put 'em-
At the end of Kuipers.
Oh, he's got to. He's
Oh,
got to
he's
show
gotta
him.
set his-
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
like I'm trying to figure out how to get it displayed
Oh, okay.
properly.
Just
Scroll
move it
down.
over to where the top 10 isn't on the side over there anymore. On
Good
the
point.
left side. Just scroll over. Or just put them under the top 10. I guess you could just.
Or you
Yeah,
can just
scroll
like,
down.
Or I can just like move my list or something.
There you go. Well, you
No,
lost.
well,
Oh,
you
that
could
works.
scroll down so then we can keep the top tens.
Yeah, scroll down.
No, he's good. He just.
Yeah,
do
that's
that.
fine. That's fine. He can do that.
Yeah,
That's good.
that's
That's
good.
Yeah,
Perfect, right
I'm
there.
trying to get it also on screen good.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because he's
Listen,
Okay.
guys, he's the intern. He knows
He's
what
doing
he's
it.
doing.
All right. We gotta hurry. All right. Look, what are we doing? Are we doing bottom 10 here? Or are we going? Just put them on there. We'll rearrange them.
Yeah.
The ones that should definitely get on there. Let's start with that. See if we get to 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for Kuipers to let me know when you're ready.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. We put God of War. We can put
Well,
Red Dead Redemption.
So are we putting them just down first?
We'll sort
Yeah,
them
we'll
out.
sort them
Yeah,
okay.
in a moment. But we want to get the ones that we know are going to be on the list.
Let's see. Red Dead Redemption, Spider-Man. I think is pretty.
Spider-Man.
I think Spider-Man's on at least 4 lists.
I think
Cry.
Sea of Thieves.
Yeah. Sea of Thieves is on a lot of lists.
It's multiples. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's on there multiple
Yeah,
times.
Assassin's Creed, Super Smash Brothers.
Subnautica is on there a couple times.
Probably Far Cry. Yeah, it's on.
It absolutely
Far
should
Cry
be on
is
there.
I mean,
2
it is
lists,
one
3
of our
lists.
number
It's on 3
one
lists.
games.
Yes.
It is
Yeah.
also on there 3 times.
It's on there 3 times. Yeah, I was just trying to make sure it was on. Subnautica. That's on a few different.
It's on there a few times. Call of
few
Duty.
times. Call of Duty. Yeah. I mean, I want to say Monster Hunter World, but I know I'm kind of in the on my own there.
In an odd way, I think Celeste should be on there because it was on 4 of our lists that we haven't played
You
yet.
can't-
So
Yeah,
we all
Celeste,
appreciated it.
Celeste should be on there.
I think it
Yeah.
should be on there.
Into the Breach should be on there.
Not.
That game is really, really
uh,
good.
I'm sure it's good, but
I'm okay
I don't
putting
know.
it on there. It should have been on my top 10. I forgot it.
There's
didn't
enough
come out.
Pokemon on
I mean,
there.
if
it
we
should
keep
be on
going,
there.
I would say
we
probably-
can start to delete some, but go
Yeah.
ahead.
Well, I'm just going to
but-
keep.
I think
and-
Pokemon-
All right, at this point,
Let's go.
Pokemon, let's go. Put that on there.
Yeah.
Pokemon more than Into the Breach.
And
probably.
Oh,
should
settle
Smash-
yourself
should Smash
down.
be on there?
Hey, I'm just
It's
saying.
already on there.
It's on there.
Oh, wait, did you not put
No,
Smash on
it's
there yet?
not on there yet.
Oh.
It's
Oh,
on
yeah,
there.
Smash is.
See, it's on there.
I'm okay with the ones that are on there right now.
Yeah.
Tetris Effect
that's-
needs to be on there, but whatever. Tetris Effect needs to be on there. Just put it over there.
Just put it on there.
It's just gonna get eliminated.
No,
I'm
it's
not
not.
saying it's
No.
not great. It's just
Put
It
Monster
needs
Hunter
to-
on there too
I
because
mean,
we've got.
Into the Breach will get.
well, don't even
everybody's
bother putting Monster.
gone
No, we've
first.
got everybody's top 3 in there though. If you've got
Okay.
Monster World Hunter,
Monster World.
Monster World Hunter. Yeah,
All
you
right,
hunt the
we're
world
not
for
putting
the
any more on
monsters.
this list. I'll give.
That's it.
Whatever. All right, so let's go ahead and delete Sea of Thieves
No.
and
Into
let's
the Breach is go- he meant-
Far Cry
He
5.
meant Into the
No.
Breach.
Let's
Okay.
delete.
He
No.
meant
Yeah.
Into the Breach.
This is a group
Go ahead and get
group
rid of
one,
Monster
Eric,
Hunter
not
World.
yours.
Okay,
I love that
put
game. I know
numbers
it's-
next to it on if we think it should disappear.
What do you mean numbers on it?
Yeah,
if you think it should
next to it. Next
saying
in the next
tally.
You mean
column.
how many
Tally how
people-
many we think it should be gone. Into the Breach should be gone.
Hang on.
No.
Let's.
Into the Breach is an incredible game. You didn't even play it.
It
You
may
don't
be a
know
good
anything.
game,
the-
but
that's
it's
the
not
point,
on
though.
enough of our list.
Not enough of a play.
I
played.
don't endorse this.
I'm just saying if
I
it's
don't
going to
know
be a
if I
combined
endorse it
list,
either.
we can't all say.
I
it
think
was
that Into the
good.
Breach.
It wasn't good enough for more than one of us to put it on our list.
No, I didn't
I
remember
never
that it
played
came
it.
out this year. Otherwise, that would have been in my top 10 too. And I think that probably should be on there above Celeste because there's more of us that have played Into the Breach than Celeste.
I'll agree with that.
That would be my argument.
For what?
To eliminate, if we had to eliminate one
Then
of
I'd
those
say
two.
Tetris should go before that. Even though I want to play that game, it looks amazing.
I'm sure all of those games are great. I'm just
I
as
Still
far as
think
our
it
combined
I
list.
think it falls
I don't
into the
think
sub 10 category. Just
I'll,
saying.
I will. I'm gonna start bartering. I will let you take off any of my games as long as God of War makes number 1 on our combined list.
This is a democracy,
Here's the
Eric.
deal.
No, it's
Eric,
it's not.
no,
It's a
let's start there.
bartering argument.
Eric, let's start there, okay?
I will let you
It's
remove
in the-
anything
it's
you
in
want
the-
as long
it's
as
in the
God
top
of War
2
makes
for
number
3
1.
people.
Yeah.
However, so is Red Dead.
Yeah.
So
I'm just saying, if you want to get rid of Celeste, you want to get rid of my Tetris Effect, which is number 2 on my list.
I'm not.
If
Nobody's
you wanna-
saying they're
no, I'm
bad
just saying-
games.
I'm
They're
just saying, if
just-
you want to get rid of them, put God of War number 1 and delete those.
that you are.
I'm just-
You are not the one who can barter
okay,
here.
then we need
No,
to
I
start-
easily am. Any of us can.
You do not have the chips in this argument.
No, any of us can. Then I'm just saying, any
No,
of us.
you're
can
right.
Eric,
barter.
you used your barter chip for putting 2 number 10s.
Yeah, you did. You put 2 number 10s.
Oh, whatever.
I'm just kidding.
No, I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna start just ripping games off that are in my top 3, like, you need to give me something. Like, you can't just take.
Well,
all-
then you can't take Monster Hunter World off.
I
then.
wasn't going to. I'm fine with it being on
Okay,
there.
then take Into the Breach off. It's not in your top 10.
All
or
right,
top
but-
top
but,
3. It's not in your top 3. It can go.
I'd rather see Into the Breach on there than Celeste, I think.
I'll
Into the
concede
Breach
since most of us didn't play it. It wasn't good enough to play, even though we want to play it. Maybe Celeste should go.
doesn't mean that it wasn't good enough to play.
No, I
It
know,
means
but
that-
I mean, maybe it should go from the top 10. That's
means
what
that
I'm saying.
only Eric has played Celeste. I've played Into the Breach, and I agree. I think that Into the Breach was a fantastic game, and I am
Far Cry
ashamed
5
that I-
should go.
No, it's on.
I think it deserves to
seriously.
be on the list.
I think it. I don't think it should be first for the combined list.
Okay, put
but
Far
it should
Cry- I
definitely
think-
be in the bottom
All right,
5.
Far Cry 5 is number 10 on the list.
You know what? Start it there.
I'm
Put
fine
it
with
there.
it being
Far Cry
number 10,
5 goes on number
honestly.
10. Put it on there.
Put it on there. I think
First one
that
on the list.
We got one on the list, people.
Woo!
Only 9 more to go.
I mean, obviously, God of War, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Far Cry 5.
Okay, you can't just start naming
No,
all of them.
I'm saying, and Sea of Thieves, they were all ranked number 1 by someone.
Okay,
here.
Sea of Thieves is
I think
number
all
9.
of those should be on the
No,
list.
no. Sea of Thieves is top
needs to be
5 for
higher,
sure.
yeah.
That's number 9.
I think it's higher
I
than
would-
9.
I would say I would go with 5 for it.
I would say 5 or 6. Yeah.
Where did I had it at 7? I had
Yeah.
it at 7. Where did Jeremy had it at 4?
Eric,
it's got a
I'm going to use
four.
my
Where did
bartering
you have
power. If I know most of my list is not going to be on this game. Most of the games I have on my list are not going to be on here.
I
But
mean-
this one's number
Okay.
1 for me, so I don't think 9 is a fair placement for
I-
me.
Yeah.
It has to
No,
be top.
no.
I think it's 5.
Let's put Let's Go at 9 then.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
I'll
fine with
do
that.
that
Yeah.
because
I'm
and
good
I
with
had
that, yeah.
zero desire for that game.
Let's put Let's Go at 9.
I wanted to play it. And I don't know if I'll ever play it, but I think it looks
Because
really
I feel
cool,
like
so
it's
yeah.
on most of our lists,
Yeah.
or the majority of our lists, at least 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm
That's-
fine. If you want to put Sea of Thieves at 5, can't go any higher than 5, though.
I tell you what, if you
That's
want to
fair.
I
keep,
agree.
if you
I
want
think
to,
that's fair. Yeah.
if you want to keep Into the Breach on there, it should be 8. But Celeste is gone.
But God of War's number 1.
I,
No,
we're not even there yet.
you can't
Listen,
force that.
I'm never going to agree on
Just
God of
for
War, but
those-
I have
You
no
never
doubt it
played
may
it.
win. Well, I had no desire to play it. It wasn't a game that captured my attention at all, and that's okay. I mean, Trevor's the only one who liked that one space game.
The one that's not done yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it's not
That's
been
why
on
it's not on a
every
list.
single one
Yeah.
of my lists.
All right, where are we going? Are we just going to sit
So,
here?
so do you guys agree Into the Breach 8?
Sure. Yeah.
Sure.
I can put that there. Yeah.
Okay.
Or do you think Subnautica should be below it?
Well, we can.
No, I think Subnautica's better.
That's obviously subjective to you because you haven't played Into the Breach. But,
True.
Yeah. I don't.
I don't know. I think I'd probably put Into the Breach above Subnautica, honestly. Subnautica was a very fun game, but I don't think it is.
Subnautica has been out in early access for a while
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
So it should be 8.
Okay. Into the Breach is 7 then.
Yep.
Okay. Is Black Ops still on the list? Eric, you've got it
I'm
at
fine
4.
it not being on the list. but
I've got it at what? 6, 7, 6, 7, something like 7.
part of my hardcore gamer.
I think that's the only.
Call of Duty doesn't deserve to
I
be
mean,
on a top 10 list.
Spider-Man
Trevor,
3.
hardcore gamer means you like Call of Duty.
No, it means I hate Call of Duty.
I feel like we should put. Call of Duty is
Spider-Man-
awesome, but Spider-Man 3 should
I'm not
probably
saying
That
Yeah.
should
on
be at
4.
4
Yeah,
for sure.
Spider-Man
Spider-Man's
4. Yep.
I can accept that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we have that's not top 3 worthy that's still on the list? Smash.
Hey, can we eliminate the
Smash.
ones that are
Yeah.
Kuipers?
The ones
Can you
on the
delete
right.
those from the list there on the right?
Yep.
The ones that are on
The ones that
list.
are already on the board here.
Man, I feel like we're doing this a lot easier than I thought we would.
I just can't believe that we have Far Cry 5 on this list at all. That game does not deserve to be on a top 10 list anywhere.
I'd be fine swapping
don't.
Far Cry with Super Smash
I'd
Bros. Honestly.
I'd rather no. Smash Brothers should be like number 3 or 6 or something.
Well,
Okay,
I
6,
was leaning.
6 is fine. Yeah. I'd be fine with Smash at 6.
Okay, but then let's get rid of Far Cry and put Call of Duty there in its place.
Can I?
'Cause-
Can
Okay,
I
I'm
just?
okay with that. I'm
Jeremy,
okay with that.
Come on, Call of Duty's better than Far Cry. Put it on 10. Call of Duty at 10.
I
Get rid of Far Cry.
one of the main reasons I would
that's my number 1 game. You
You can't. You
One
can't
of
take
the-
it off the list. It's my number one
I
game.
think it
Just
needs
saying.
to be on the list because
yeah,
it
probably
is his
needs to be
number
on the
1,
list, yeah.
and it's on.
And it's on there 3 times.
It's on 3.
Smash is only on there twice.
guys haven't even talked about Odyssey.
Not
only
Smash
that,
is on 3
can
times.
I just put? Okay,
I'm okay with
who else
Odyssey
had
not
Smash?
making it.
I'm fine with
okay,
Odyssey.
okay.
I loved Odyssey.
I saw
Sorry,
it now.
go ahead, Kuipers.
No, that's what I was going to say. Just Trevor also had it, like me.
Yeah,
or Trevor.
and it's a 6 and a 7, and then a
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
But so yeah, 6 is a good spot for it.
I'm fine Odyssey not making the list, just because I did love that game. It's also Ubisoft making a couple kind of seedy decisions. I had a lot of fun with that game, and it's on my personal top 10
You know,
list.
I forgot about some of the things they
They did some kind of
did.
crappy things.
Yeah, that's off the list. Odyssey's
Kuipers,
gone.
can you take into the breach off there?
Yeah, I saw
okay.
that. I
And
was about to get
Celeste.
that.
Kuipers, come
Because we already agreed it's gone.
Then yeah, Odyssey.
Okay. Argue your third place on there. The only one I can argue would be Call of Duty.
Number 3.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Number 3.
I'm probably fine with that.
Look at what's left, people.
I know. Looking at what's left, it makes me realize
Because
okay,
1 and 2, it's
none
God
of-
of War and Red Dead, no matter what.
The thing is, none of us put God or Call of Duty as like number 3.
That's true. That's true. That is.
That is true.
Like I feel like Spider-Man should probably be moved
You
up
know
if
what?
we're gonna put. I
Yeah.
could be okay with Call of Duty being 4.
Yeah,
Spider-Man
I'd
3
agree
though.
with that. yeah.
Eric, what do you think? It's on your list. It's on my list. I think 4 is probably better. Spider-Man can go up.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Do you? Argue why it shouldn't.
The fact that Tetris Effect is on this list is just absolutely insane to me. There's no reason.
Well, the
this
problem
game-
is we haven't played it, so
Yeah.
I know, but this is a game that we're all in our list. We're all endorsing, and
Then,
the fact that you
then
don't
get rid of Into the Breach.
aren't putting that on there.
I can't endorse something I haven't played.
Yeah, I haven't played it. That's a.
I know,
I
but
mean,
I'm
it's
just
a
saying-
problem.
wanna
I'm
play
100% sure it is a great game. I have heard a lot of different things about it, but I can't say it's incredible.
Every
if I
single
haven't
one of them that's
experienced
listed
said
on here, we have
critical
at least 2 people have played.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
So by that logic, what? We're getting rid of Monster Hunter. Oh no,
Yeah, that one I think
went
needs to
in
go to.
thinking Monster Hunter World doesn't
Just
here.
delete
I
Monster
I
Hunter.
love that game. I don't think it's. I don't
Okay,
think everybody.
so
Well,
now it's whether or not Tetris deserves a spot on the board. If it's not top 3,
If it does, it's going
what
to
should
bump
it replace,
everything.
Eric? If it's not top 3, if it's not,
I don't care if it. I just think it needs to be on the top 10. I'm not saying. I get that you guys haven't played it, but I just feel like that game. I feel like it just. Whatever. It's. I'm looking at it a
I'm
different
really
way.
excited about that game.
I'm
and I
looking
can't
at
wait
it
to
the
play
way is like if I were to show someone, hey, this is our top 10 games of the year you should check out, and that game is not on there, I feel like we've done a disservice to the public because people need to play that game. Like they need to check that out. Like I know people blow it off because it's Tetris, but it is something super special, and the fact that people aren't willing to check it out just because it's Tetris is kind of a shame.
That's not why I haven't checked it out. It's just because
I know,
I've
but
not
I'm
done
saying
buying games,
I'm just
so.
saying like it's that I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like if you're giving this game out to somebody, you should like.
Jolliver says, I consistently disagree with your end results. Sorry, I just thought that was funny.
I'm sure Odyssey is way up there for Jolliver. So
Odyssey was a very fun game. I enjoyed the crap out of Odyssey, and
I
still
did too.
wanna go
That's
play
why
more of it.
I put
still-
it third and I let it drop off the list.
Ubisoft makes some weird decisions. I don't know that it belongs on a top 10 list just because it's not. It was a lot of fun, but it wasn't like an incredible game. Maybe that sounds weird, but I don't know.
all right, hijacked by hipsters.
Is Pokemon Let's Go enough? Is it enough of a game that you wouldn't argue that Tetris should replace it?
I would throw Pokemon under the bus
Because
to
I
put Tetris on the list.
feel like that's one of those games. I know some of us talked about this before the show, where it was kind of not a remake, but leaned heavily on old content, if you will. So for me, that could push it off the list.
Yeah, I'm
Thoughts?
fine with Pokemon going. I can,
How about this? We put Tetris Effect for Pokemon Let's Go. We take your number 10 to just Frostpunk.
What?
I don't.
To Eric's.
Oh, that doesn't. My personal list doesn't matter on that like
no,
that.
I know.
But
But I'm just
it's-
saying, if you're feeling this indifferent about Pokemon Let's Go,
Well, I put it on there because
yeah.
I think it's a good game, but I'm not willing to sacrifice Tetris Effect for it. Like if that's what we're.
No, he was just saying take it off your top
like
10.
take it off
personal
your top 10 list. if we're going to replace Pokemon Let's Go with Tetris Effect,
I
Why
think
do you have
his
to
intent was
change
get rid
my?
of
Why do you have to
Frostpunk, but that's
change
beside the
my
That is a
top
little-
10 list?
Yeah.
it's just because your top 10 list is technically the top 11. I'm just going to say, like,
But you don't know whether Frostpunk or Pokemon
I
is
think
number 11.
I think Frostpunk he put on there
True.
because it was more than an honorable mention.
Hey, thanks for
and,
following,
and
Chives.
that's why it wasn't
Hey,
in that
thanks,
list. That's my thought.
I want to defend
Okay.
my statement real quick. Irrelevant Native. It's not that the company was bad. The company put in bad things into the game that made it less good. It's
They fixed some of it, but anyway.
they fixed some of it, and I'm not saying the game was good. I would even say it was great. I loved it. I had so much fun with it, but it was not the incredible experience that so many of these games are.
Okay,
on
so
this
back
list,
to the
except
point
for
here.
maybe Far Cry.
Who is willing to get rid of Pokemon Go and replace it with
fine with that,
Tetris Effect?
Vote
I'm fine. Yep.
Everyone but
Okay.
Kyle.
and
let's-
Kuipers.
I want a bargain.
Okay.
I want a
then.
bargain for number one.
Bargain then.
I want a
Okay,
bargain
so
for number
but we're
one.
doing that. Do we agree?
No, he's bargaining.
I want a bargain for number one.
What?
I think Red Dead should be number one.
Well, and
I
what's
agree.
your bargain? Then?
I think we got two people that have it listed as number
No.
one,
And one person
And
who
we're-
doesn't have God of War listed at all.
and we're
Yeah.
throwing
Yeah,
Tetris Effect in with only one person having played.
Yeah, but we also have Red Dead, which is my number 6. It's not even on Kuiper's list. Jeremy's, where's it out on his?
number
two.
two.
Number 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
and like we have God of War consistently is more at within top 3.
Yeah.
With the exception of one person who doesn't have
If you
it
look
at
at
all.
God of War, it's like 3 on Kuiper's, 2 on Trevor's, 2 on yours, Kyle, number 1 on mine, and it's not on Jeremy's.
Whereas Red Dead has 2 number 1s,
But
1 number 2, a number 6,
but
and a nada.
Kuipers, why is it not on your list? Because you didn't play it.
Yeah,
It
but that's
was
why
his-
anything is not on people's list.
I know, but
That's
I'm
why-
just
It was
saying,
on his
I'm just
list of
saying.
shame.
So then would Tetris Effect not like since going to that
Well,
argument
you're
then,
right. You're right.
if we're going to say that if it shouldn't be because like oh you didn't play it,
I can't believe we're arguing over number 9. But anyway,
Just get rid of Far Cry 5 and put Tetris in.
no, we've all agreed that has to be on the list.
It's Jeremy's number 1 should be on there.
We can't help if Jeremy has terrible taste.
I
No, but
don't
it's-
have terrible
it's,
taste.
it's
Very
not
good
just
game,
it's
so-
not just that it's his number one. It's on 3 of the lists.
Yeah.
So
it still beats out Call of Duty if you argue that from that point.
Yeah.
All right, get rid of Tetris Effect, but God of War is number 1.
Nope.
God of War is
like
way
that.
better than Red Dead.
Okay, is
disagree.
Call of Duty
you won
number
last
3?
year with the stupid game.
What, I
stupid
won?
game show.
The
I
game-
put HQ at number 10
Listen,
for crying
listen.
out
It was
loud.
number
It was on our list and it shouldn't
It
have been.
shouldn't
I don't
have been.
think
That's
that was
true.
as crazy a
That
victory
is true.
as you guys make
I
it out
feel
to
like
be.
I feel like we have something we can get rid of. We're not arguing for number 3 at all. So I think Call of Duty Black Ops 4 should be number 3. Period. Done.
I think it should be 4 and Spider-Man 3.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
I
willing
agree.
to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'm willing
Spider-Man
to do that.
3.
Put,
Call of
put
Duty
Spider-Man
4.
at number 3,
Yeah.
at least. Put that at I don't know.
You're not ready to put Black Ops as 4.
I mean, it's only on
Look
2
at,
of our
it's
list,
4
though.
on your list.
I know,
It's on.
but it's only...
on 4 of the lists. Spider-Man is.
Yeah, I'm just saying Black Ops isn't only on 2 of the lists. So.
Yeah, but of what we have left,
What are you? What I don't know what you're saying.
what else is going to go in
I'd
the 4
bump
spot?
Sea of Thieves up to 4. I think that was an incredible.
Okay,
game.
I'll put it at 4, but Black Ops goes to 5,
I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that.
Whatever.
which
Yeah.
probably makes more sense because it was my number 6 and his number, or my
That's-
number 7 and his number 4.
That's fine.
Okay, so now we're down to 3 titles and only 2 spots, and Tetris is being argued potentially to replace Pokemon. Is that where we're at?
I'd replace Pokemon Subnautica or Far Cry 5 with Tetris.
I mean, I'd replace.
I'd
Into the
replace
Breach.
Into the Breach with Tetris even if I
Okay,
came down to
done.
it. No, but Kyle's
Done.
fighting for Into the Breach.
Relevant Native says, get into the breach. Get rid of that.
Into the Breach is a great game.
Into the Breach is a great game.
Okay. I feel like Tetris Effect. The argument here is nobody played it, but that's not my fault. That
I
nobody
agree.
played
It should be on the list, Eric.
Like you.
Well,
I feel
it's-
like everybody here should have given it a shot. Like
You're treating it too much
GameFly or
like your
something.
list is the thing.
I know, but I feel like
So-
it represents all of us, and like so far, this list really doesn't represent me.
That
at
game
all.
is on my
You took-
January playlist. It just didn't make it this fall. That's all.
Like if you're gonna like get rid of, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of lower games that none of us got on here, so I guess I can't say anything. But if we're gonna go, we're putting Far Cry on number 10 just because it's Jeremy's number 1 and Tetris Effect is my number 2.
Far Cry
should
was
be
my
9.
number. Far Cry was on all lists.
But then
on 3
Pokemon Let's
lists,
Go
so-
was
Far Cry wasn't on my list.
Kuiper.
No,
On
Far
3
Cry was on
lists, I
3
said.
lists.
Where was it at
I
on
feel
your
like
guys'
I
list?
feel
Mine
like
was
in-
10.
Okay, then
Mine
well,
was-
yeah, but
the
you
breach
guys,
has
mine
to
was 8.
disappear.
your guys are counting that, but you blew off Celeste and Moonlighter too. But you're just saying because it's on more lists, that's why it counts. Okay.
Celeste was only on 1 list.
I know, but I'm saying that's why. I'm trying to figure out your logic. You're saying it's on more lists, so that's why
And it was
counts.
Jeremy's number 1.
I'm just validating it. Yeah, it was Jeremy's
so
number
let's,
1. And
let's
had
talk
several
about this though.
10s.
Pokemon Let's Go is number 2 for Kuipers, and Tetris Effect is number 2 for Eric. So I feel like both of those have to exist. So if both those have to exist, the only argument I can see is that Into the Breach has to disappear because it is only on 1 list.
All right, fine.
So then the question is, do
I'm
we
okay with
move
that.
Subnautica up to 7 and then we argue Pokemon Let's Go and Tetris Effect for 8 and 9?
Joe-
I would argue Pokemon Let's Go goes to 8.
Okay, get
and
rid of
Tetris goes to 9 because of the number of people who played
Get
it.
rid of Into the Breach. Put Pokemon Let's Go at 7, and put Tetris Effect at 9.
You're going to keep Subnautica at 8?
I think so.
Okay.
I think that makes
You
more
guys
sense to
agree?
me.
Anyone?
I mean, I know Kyle doesn't want to get rid of Into the Breach, but
I felt bad that it wasn't on my list.
I mean, it obviously
Yeah,
wasn't good
but-
enough for him to
But there was
remember.
other good.
No, I didn't. I
there
didn't.
was good games on your list. You know.
When I was looking through my games that I had played this year,
Yeah.
I didn't have when I was putting this together, I didn't have access to my Nintendo stuff. So I was
Yeah.
looking at like what I had played on Xbox and PlayStation, and had completely forgotten that came out this
Yeah.
year. It wasn't something that was from the previous year.
Yeah. Is Pokemon Go in a good place? Did I move that up too high?
No, I feel like because it made it multiple lists, so that does give it a boost over Tetris Effect, and Subnautica was lower in general on the list, so I'm okay with where it's at.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm probably fine with where it's at. Yeah, I didn't play it, but so I can't really say. But yeah, I think that seems fair.
Okay. All right. And I'm going to lose on this number 1, aren't I? Because you guys are just going to fight me on it.
Yep.
I mean,
I'm on your side, Eric.
I don't think that Red Dead, the fact that you're giving Red Dead the same, Red Dead shouldn't even be considered even in the same class as God of War. I have a
disagree.
ton of respect just
No,
because
one of them I liked.
you didn't even play one of them.
Because I have zero desire to play it. That means I don't like it.
That means you didn't give it a try.
One of them I
Just-
liked.
I had zero to. Well, you're right. You're right, Kuipers.
You
Also,
and
you
wanted to
didn't
play
give
the
one
other
of them
one.
a try either.
Yeah, like the same
I
argument
feel
can
like,
be said
but
about
I feel
God
like
of War.
Trevor. I feel like your argument for Red Dead is because you liked the first one. Like that's
No, no,
always
no,
your
no.
argument.
No,
The
it's-
first one was my favorite
no.
game ever. So then you automatically go Red Dead should be the winner because
That's
I
not
like,
my argument.
But it does have two
It is-
number 1 spots.
It is an incredible game.
The first one
that
was
does a
the
lot.
game of a generation. I will give you that. Of that generation of console, Red Dead, the first one was amazing. Red Dead 2 is that game again with some minor adjustments.
Wrong.
All
I
no,
don't think so.
Trevor, think about it.
Nope.
No, just think about it for a second.
I have.
Hear me out. No, hear me out.
Yes.
All the things they added are inconsequential.
Nope.
Name one thing that they added that makes a difference in that game.
I
That is
like the
important.
story better.
None of the survival stuff matters.
It-
in the way that like
You're right. The survival stuff doesn't matter.
none of the camp stuff matters. None of all of that stuff they added is inconsequential to the game. If you strip that away, it would still just be Red Dead, other than the amazing story, which God of War has an amazing story and it's a fun game.
I enjoyed every aspect of Red Dead. I understand not everybody did. I enjoyed the survival
I'm just
things.
saying
I enjoyed the camp
it's
things.
inconsequential.
It-
so I'm
just because you can skip it doesn't make it inconsequential. If that was the case, then you could claim every single aspect of an open world game besides the main story mission was inconsequential.
That's true.
no, but okay. Yeah, all right, fine. I mean, I'm just saying that
Here's
I feel like we're arguing Red Dead's good because the first one was good.
No,
No.
that's not why I'm arguing that.
here's the weight I would put on it. So I never played Red Dead 1. I also never played any of the God of War series prior to this year. I've God of War managed to pull me in. Red Dead 2, I did buy it. I did play go through the opening mission, but then life got busy, but I never really quite had appeal never drew me back in I have to play this game. It was more like I'll get around to this game eventually again.
I'll say the opening mission wasn't enough to gauge to grab me. So I mean, it's not really enough to judge the game by is the problem.
So let me add a little perspective. Okay.
Oh boy.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna give everyone a moment to breathe. Let me give a little perspective. Right now, we have Eric and Kuipers fighting for God of War as their number one, and we also have Kyle and Trevor, who obviously put Red Dead Redemption above God of War in their own lists. Thus, currently, if I understand this correctly, fighting for Red Dead as number one. Is that a correct assumption so far?
Yes,
Correct.
It's not an assumption. You just stated facts.
You
Well,
stated
okay, I
facts.
just want to make sure that my assuming of the facts was what you guys agreed to. So here's where I believe it comes down to.
Just because it's on your list.
Well, that's exactly right. If it's the five of us, our top 10, Red Dead Redemption 2 is on my list. It's an even split, and I know you guys hate that I'm the tiebreaker, but I feel like that's what
Even
makes it a
Jolliver,
tiebreaker.
who's upset that we removed Assassin's Creed, thinks that God of War is above Red Dead. I agree with you, Jolliver. Thank you.
God of War is an incredible game. Red Dead
It
2,
was.
it just happens to be a little bit more incredible.
How? Name one reason it's more incredible.
I feel like there's just
I need
The
to
world,
hear.
okay, for me, the world was unmatched. I have never felt such a sense of being a part of a world in a game that way. I actually felt like, I don't know, I felt myself unconsciously not wanting to kill people because it seemed wrong within the world. And like, even though the conversation stuff wasn't that incredible, it added a certain depth to it that made you feel so interactive. I loved the way the weapons all worked. I enjoyed a lot of the survival elements because I do like survival elements, and I liked that it wasn't entirely vital to like just not dying. But I like how it enhanced different ways that you progress the game. And like in the way you walked around and the way things influenced, and I liked the way the horse was an integral part of that. It was, and like the hunting felt great. I loved hunting in it, and like living in that world was so incredible.
Okay, I have another thing I just thought through.
I think of like just okay. Go ahead.
No, go. You go ahead.
The
You
thing
go ahead.
that is with Red Dead, I can name so many problems with that game, and I cannot even my list. I can't even begin with a list on God of War. I loved tons of aspects of Red Dead, but I hated that if you barely bumped into someone in town with your horse, you were suddenly the most wanted criminal in the world. All the buttons were so convoluted, like all these things you had to learn about how to hold when to hold in the trigger and when to do this and when to do that, and then you'd punch your horse and it'd kick you, and like there was just so much of the game that would immerse you and then it would thrust you out of the world. Like it would immerse you and then thrust you out. It's just rinse and repeat with that. Where God of War, it took you in and there was a little bit of a learning curve, but once it did, it held you in there and you were just like, the story held you in, the gameplay held you in, there were so many aspects of that game that were just so well polished. Sure, it wasn't like the vast open world where you just go anywhere. It was a little more of a hodgepodge of open world and linear gameplay, but still, like, they did it so well that I can't. I feel like there were just too many bugs in Red Dead to say this game was just the best game of the year. Like I can't agree with that. I guess
I don't know what you mean by being taken out of it because of the controls. I don't think there were. The only time that I had problems with controls was when I was jumping back in from playing Nintendo, and Nintendo has the B and the A backed out. So that was the only time that I ran into anything where I was like, oh crap, I just pressed that because that was a Nintendo, and I just I punched a horse and got myself kicked.
All right, so I have another argument here. I'm trying to look at this logically because I feel like we can't win on emotion right now.
That's what this is about. Emotion
I know,
is what it's about.
But I think understanding our multiple lists with a logical spin is important.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. Right now, the way I'm looking at it is all of our top ones are in the top 4 except for mine, which is at number 10. My number 3 is not on the list. Trevor's number
Mine's
3 is
not on the list
also
either.
not on the list. Of all the other number 3s, they're all on the list from 3 and above. The only other one on my list is Red Dead Redemption. I feel like it wins. I feel like it has to win based on our list. I understand, Eric. I understand. I truly understand your argument. There's a reason it won at the Game Awards. I get that.
What does that have
But
to do with anything? This is our list.
No, that's what my point is. I get why you're passionate about it. I get why so
You're
many
saying
people.
I'm passionate about it because it won at the Game Awards?
No, I'm
No,
saying that
Other
proves
people,
that other
obviously,
people agree
yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
But like you said, this is our list. So based on that, Red Dead
Well-
has to win.
But also based on that, look at the top 3 games for everyone.
God
You-
of War's in there more.
God of War is in there more than Red Dead is.
That's also true.
For me, it
Still
was,
finishes in the top 3.
The Red Dead Redemption 2 was a superior experience for me. It didn't really have anything to do with the game mechanics or anything. It just, I mean, obviously it does, but it doesn't though. At the same time, it wasn't because of the difference between the two games. I love God of War. It was a great game, and it came far closer to Red Dead than I could have ever expected. But I still think Red Dead Redemption 2 is a more memorable experience in a lot of ways for me.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us are going to be happy. I don't know.
Thinking back, though, I think the other thing that may be also fair is just thinking about past episodes. How much hype did we have for God of War?
0.
We had we were
Some.
excited for it when
For
it came
me.
out. Okay, Jeremy, wait, we had excitement for it when it came out. How many episodes did we talk about Red Dead Redemption 2 in?
A lot.
An awful lot.
Before it came out.
Yeah, before it came out. Then after it came out, we wanted to avoid spoilers, which is why we didn't really talk about it all
Yeah.
that
But
much.
that doesn't mean we didn't want to.
Yeah.
We
I
still
I feel
If
like
we
there
were-
was
if
much
we were
less
g-
spoilers to talk about in God of War.
If we were giving out best story of the year, Red Dead Redemption would win over and over and over. There's no chance. It would be all the top 10. Like it would be the easiest answer because that story is amazing. But I just don't think from a mechanical standpoint that game holds up. Like they didn't do anything new with that game. Like they didn't.
think
They
they did,
didn't.
though.
They
I think
didn't
they did
exceed
because-
any of my what expectations did that game exceed other than the stuff that we already knew about it. Like you look at like God of War, and around every corner I was just like blown away by the set pieces and the things that would happen and the way that the story was interwoven into the game. It would just blow your mind over and over again. Think of your little companion you put around your waist. Think of all these moments where things happen. Like there were so many incredible moments in that game that were integral to the world and the storytelling of that game that all became a cohesive product. Where Red Dead Redemption is a great story with gameplay from a game that came out in 2008 and then a few added things that, like I said, are inconsequential to the gameplay. You can decorate your camp.
I disagree.
You can hunt again. Like how I don't know.
I don't think that there's as much inconsequential additions as you're making it sound because I did not expect for this game to make me want to play differently than an outlaw cowboy. Like there were a lot of things throughout the course of the story that put a lot of things in perspective that changed the way that I was reacting to things and changed the way that I was moving through the game. I mean, there's choices for you to be able to choose if you're going to go the bad route and just continue to try and take money from people, or if you're going to actually try and help people. And I mean, it adds. I think it's the depth that adds to that. There were a lot of parts in that game where, as I was going through it and as I was playing with the character in that more of a dark way, it kind of was like, oh, I don't know that I feel like this is something that I want to play this way because it made me feel gross playing the way that it allowed you to play with the story that you were going through. And I mean, I guess for me, I felt like the game changed as the story did, and as you kind of hit that point where you're obviously seeing that there's things that are going wrong in your camp.
think about in God of War how the game progresses and how you unlock new equipment, you unlock new abilities. There was a progression to the game. Where in Red Dead Redemption you got some guns. There was no game progression other than that. Like
You ranked up your horse.
I know, but there was no incentive to like to all think when I say inconsequential, think about the leveling system. Your character leveled up and it didn't do anything different. You didn't even notice it. Like sure you could
But
say
I think
noticed
that
it.
I
What
think
did
that
you
turned,
notice?
I think that
That's
turned
the
the whole
stamina, the
concept
health
of
and
other
stuff.
Okay.
people on its head.
That's another
because
thing.
The game didn't need you to level up your character.
the other
to still
thing is
enjoy
like the
playing it.
core system was garbage.
I loved
Like,
it.
Why? It
was
was
a lot of fun.
unnecessary. The cores was fun. How is that fun, Trevor?
It grounded me to the world. I loved how that all worked. It made me.
They
feel
could have
like
done that in one bar, though. Why did they need two things in there? Why did you need a core and an exterior bar? I don't know how that added to the fun. It seemed pointless.
I liked how that worked. I thought it was all very interesting. I thought it was a innovation on the survival elements that didn't make it feel too tedious.
But how did that add to the fun of the game? I don't understand how I had to keep track of two random bars and how that made it fun.
Well,
Like
the core was like what contributed to the outer bar.
I understand how they worked, but I don't see the point in them. I didn't see it was just like they added this thing. They're like, oh, this makes it like a survival game, right? People like those. Here, let's put this in the game. Like it didn't. I don't see why did that make that game better? You would
Because
if it would have been there or not been
Exactly
there.
why I said it, because it grounded you to the world. It made it feel like a natural thing. It made you feel like you were living in this world and not just a immortal god who just can die if he gets shot, I guess.
I'm still not sure how that makes you feel grounded, other than like because you had to keep two bars full instead of one. Like you had to, and you had to like keep track of all these crazy like random items and decide which ones did which and which. It's fine. We're keeping people here way too long.
So I don't know if you paid attention to the chat.
What? Yeah.
I asked the chat what their consensus was, and it is currently 3 for God of War and 4 for Red Dead.
Okay. Well, the chat decided it
That's
is
kind
men
of-
in a tub.
Our list, yeah.
No. Roundabout and the Quiet Man are our final two games.
Okay. Yeah. Can we,
There we go.
switch the order?
It's
though?
done.
All right, I've said my piece. Whatever. Here it is. God of War is number 2. Red Dead Redemption is number 1. Yet another faulty game of the year by Men in a Tub, where we all don't. We have bad opinions. No, it's fine.
I don't think that we have bad opinions.
No, I'm just kidding.
I think this is
They're
good. I
native.
think this is a pretty decent list.
You're right. Sea of Thieves should have been higher.
Eric, I just want you to know
False.
the reason that there was 4 votes for Red Dead Redemption in the chat and only 3 for God of War is because Irrelevant Native said that it's not that Red Dead is a superior game and deserves to win. It's that Eric deserves to lose.
Oh, okay.
So,
I don't
we love our fans. I mean, we got.
Wait, why do I deserve to
such a
lose,
love.
though?
It's
It's such a
because
loving
it's
relationship.
I don't
because he
know.
loves you so much. I think. I don't know.
I just know
I
that
feel- you
Relevant
look at the
Native
list
is
I
an
lost,
Xbox
guys.
fanboy, so that's...
You look at the top 10.
You put Far Cry at your number 1. You
I-
deserve to lose.
whatever.
You did throw
Piper's got more of his games in the list than I did.
Hey, look, I actually played good games this year.
Oh man!
It's an improvement from last year, at least, right?
All right, Kuipers, Let's. I know they can see them, but just read them off for the audio listeners so they know what our top 10. Starting at number 10.
So number
is.
10 is Far Cry 5.
Oh boy.
Number 9, Tetris Effect. Number 8, Subnautica. Number 7, Pokemon Let's Go.
Pokemon.
Number 6, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Number 5, Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Number 4, Sea of Thieves. Number 3, Spider-Man. Number 2, God of War. And number 1, Red Dead Redemption 2.
There you have it. There's your game of the year. Red Dead Redemption 2 is the game of the year. You still have a few moments here to get your Win Game Pass if you want to enter.
If you haven't
If
entered
you
already.
haven't entered already, you can only enter once. Put
5 tickets. Yep.
5
which
tickets. So if you've watched
everybody
5
that's
minutes or
entered
more,
has.
we have 8 entries right now. If you go ahead and put in !ticket space 5, you will be entered, and we will be giving that away
When
momentarily.
you win, you'll get a whisper from me with the code.
I want to encourage everyone to tune in tomorrow night for the Tubcast, which is a special edition. It's our Christmas call-in show where you can call. You can call right now. You can call 475-TUB-CALL and leave us a voicemail. We'll play that on air. Or you can call in live on the show and talk to us, and the internet will hear you.
It's the holiday. It's the holiday. The Merry Christmas call-in show.
More giveaways tomorrow.
So please tune in then, and we will be giving away another year of Game Pass if you tune in tomorrow. But now comes the time where I need to make 2 announcements that are kind of hard to make, and they kind of suck in their own unique ways. But I think that it's not things will continue. And well, I don't know which one.
Do we have some music?
I don't know
feel
how.
like we
need some
music.
somber. I feel, but now that right.
I don't have anything somber.
Well, since I offended Trevor so much with our arguments tonight,
I'm insulted.
He texted me during the show. No, I'm just kidding. This is Trevor's last show. I mean, I'm sure he'll come back as a guest
I'd like
Every
to.
now and then.
but Trevor,
When I can.
Trevor is.
You're gonna hold the camera for us at Comic-Con again, I'm
Yep,
sure.
yep.
But
He's
yeah,
got too much No Man's Sky to play that he doesn't
No
have
Man's
time.
Sky. You mean Star
Sorry,
Citizen?
Star Citizen.
yeah.
He doesn't have time for the show.
Yep.
No.
I'm so busy. So busy.
So busy.
So
So
busy.
busy.
That is right. Trevor is leaving. He's moving. He's going to the farm, I guess, to retire.
Going to the farm up north.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's
No,
a
he's-
lot more room for him to run around out there.
No,
He'll
Trevor's.
be happy there.
You're staying in Omaha, so
Yeah.
it's just.
He's starting a cult, people.
he's-
That's really
yeah.
what's happening.
He really, actually, Far Cry 5 is his
yeah,
number one.
It really
game
is.
of
He
the
just
year,
couldn't
too.
say it.
Yeah.
You know,
I just didn't want to agree
too close
with
to
Jeremy.
home. Yeah. Thank you.
True. No one wants to agree with Jeremy.
I'll still be around, and I might maybe occasionally stream some games. I would like to maybe stream some Star Citizen if people want to watch that or some other stuff. I don't know. We'll see. I unfortunately partially my schedule's going to be different, so it might be different. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that all turns out though. So
Well, I think you're always going to be a man in a tub.
yeah.
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 Yeah. We're going to miss you, Trevor. And that's a bummer. And I always like, this is going to be the biggest compliment to you and the biggest insult to these other 2 guys.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm sorry, but I was talking to my wife the other night about this, and I'm like, this really sucks. And it's something against Jeremy and Kyle, but
He
they
hates us.
No, we already know what you have
but
against us.
you guys,
Come on.
you guys play you guys keep up with gaming news in a different way.
Yeah.
And like Trevor and I mean, are just on a different level of where we're at on like keeping up with gaming news. Like, it's just the thing, and I know that sounds so
a
petty.
different level. Huh?
It's true. I'm just saying, like, we consume it at a
We
much
do.
more like
Yeah.
like just constant consumption of. And so I always know Trevor knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm gonna miss Trevor. It's sad. It's nothing against you guys. I'm gonna miss Trevor.
He hates us.
And, I used to work with Trevor, and so we would always like have these in-depth gaming
That's what it was.
conversations, and that was
They'd
good.
work. They'd
Oh,
work
you-
and they'd talk about video games all day long.
Yeah, that was
that's
it.
that's
I
what
mean,
it was.
no, but I think
They conspired
I'm
against
gonna
us.
miss Trevor's got a bunch of knowledge there. That's leads us to our next sad announcement. Is that the Loop was an incredible experiment that we had a lot of fun with
a
doing.
little over a year.
This is our 59th episode, and I think we decided at this point, because the growth of trying to do 2 shows and run all our personal lives has been super challenging and a strain on our families. So when the new year comes in, this is officially the last episode of the Loop. As
It
it is
doesn't mean
right
the
now.
loop's disappearing.
No, and I want to state, make sure if you're subscribed to iTunes that you keep the subscription,
YouTube,
because I
I
think we're
assume?
going to try to do some offshoot episodes of the Loop.
Yep.
And put them out there, whatever form they may take. That we're not really ready to discuss yet.
It's
but
just not an every week thing that we can maintain.
no. And especially with Trevor leaving, it just makes it even more difficult.
'Cause
and
we're not on the same level.
obviously.
You're losing my godlike knowledge
I know.
of video games.
So no, and I'm not trying to belittle you guys.
No,
I'm
we
just
just
saying
care about
it's-
No, I
different-
know what you mean.
I'm just
We
saying,
just care
like,
about different
and it's fine.
games.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm talking about news and the industry stuff, like
Right.
gaming industry information. That stuff you guys don't care about as much.
I kept up with that a lot better
Yeah.
when I had a different job that I could listen
But
to podcasts and things.
Anyways, Trevor will be gone. The loop is in, but that also means that the video game discussion is going to move a little bit more into into the Tubcast.
So Thursday
Yeah.
nights.
But we're not gonna.
There'll
We're not
still
gonna.
be
We're not
game
gonna. If you
talk.
like the Tubcast the way it is, don't feel bad. We're not gonna take it over with
Right.
with video games.
It just means that
we're
we will
gonna-
now talk
if,
about
if
video
you
games
remember
again.
the Tubcast before the loop, wasn't that long ago? We talked about video games on it, so we're just bringing that back into the fold.
Hopefully, if this became a thing where we were making more money and we could
Yep.
support doing more shows, the loop would be
Patreon.
back in like a heartbeat. But it's just
Right.
hard because when we look at when we ran the numbers and the popularity of the two shows, the loop never took off the way that the Tubcast did. And I'm talking not only on Twitch but on iTunes and stuff like that.
Correct. We
So-
have a lot of people who
So we just
listen and follow.
when we
that.
had to make this decision, it was tough to kill one of our babies. But yes,
That's not. It's
So-
not dead.
That's
I
not-
know.
that's
I know.
not how
It,
you
it'll be
do that.
different. It'll be
No.
different, and we don't know what
we don't
where it'll
kill
go.
our
But
babies.
It's still around. It just won't be regular.
anyways, and that's how that goes. But we'll miss you a lot, Trevor. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Yeah,
And-
it's been fun.
We'll have you on the Tubcast sometime as a guest. For
sure.
when somebody's
Yes.
gone. Anyways, be sure. Like I said, this is the last episode of this for the year. Hopefully, you'll start to see some other random things show up
Right.
loop related.
We've got plans
But
for
tune
next
in.
year.
But tune in. Also, I want to say if you miss the Tubcast tomorrow, we're also taking a 2-week holiday break from everything. So the week of Christmas and the week of New Year, there's going to be nothing out there. I'm sorry.
There's tons of stuff on our YouTube channel.
check
If you
that out.
if you haven't,
Yeah.
if you're one of those new follows tonight, check out some older content.
Yes, but we just
and then
really
come back for new stuff.
we needed to take a little break with all this stuff going on and spend some time with our families. And so I hope you all understand. We'll be back in the new year. But be sure you tune in tomorrow night, like I said, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But let's give away this prize.
Okay.
On a
We're
happier
closing the
note.
giveaway.
Okay.
You guys ready?
Everyone's ready, right?
All right. I'm gonna press this button that says "Draw a winner."
Do it. No.
All right. Looks like Great Quantum.
Oh, all
Great Quantum, are you
right.
still here? That's part of you have to. All right, Great Quantum won. He is here.
Gray, you're going to be getting just shortly a
Whisper from
whisper
Jeremy.
from
From
me.
Jeremy.
He is the Arcadia.
The Arcadia.
But be sure to tune in tomorrow if you want a chance to win a year of Game Pass tomorrow. You will get another opportunity to win. Probably, we're hoping we'll have more than one to give away tomorrow night. So make sure you tune into our special Christmas call-in show, where you can call in, and sometimes dead celebrities call in.
Yep.
Don't miss that show if you want another chance to win.
Right.
We really appreciate your guys' support. And before we go,
Gray, confirm that you know why I'm whispering you to make sure I got your name spelled right. I'm not giving it to some random guy
but
or gal.
before we go, we must thank our lovely and beautiful Patreon peeps. We'd like to thank all those lovely individuals who continue to stick it out with us, even though things change. It's sometimes a new flower grows. But we are very grateful for all our Patreon peeps, including these lovely individuals, God of Atheists, and Jay Oliver, who donate at the co-producer level or higher. That means they donate $10 or more each and every single month. And it is awesome of them to do that, and very generous. And if you too would like to be part of that lovely group of people who do so, go to patreon.com/minutub and subscribe. And hopefully by the new year we will be changing